Lincoln.
Come on, it's 6 o'clock. Rise and shine, rise and shine.
It's time for Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Live from the Koppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
Did seem kind of meh.
And Steve Sipple.
Surprisingly good.
This is Early Break with Sip and Jake, sponsored by Gaina Trucking.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday to you, Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen at Early Break. Full show ahead. Lots to get to. You can always call or text at 402-464-5685. Watch and comment on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. Again, the show is sponsored by Gaina Trucking. How are you this fine Tuesday morning?
Just fine. Are you ready to roll?
You're not. You got audio going everywhere.
Yeah.
over
Why
there.
is my audio going?
Computer is making noises.
Yep, hold on. We're good.
That was
Off.
loud. That was
Hello.
loud.
Hello. Good morning.
That was like full blast volume over there.
Yeah, I was asking if you were ready to go, and I had problems.
And then you had problems.
Yeah.
I'm born ready over here.
Yeah, you are born ready. Are you gonna do some yelling today?
No, I don't think so.
No, you just started. Are you gonna do some yelling today? No, I don't think so.
What show have I ever not yelled? Is the real question. Something usually fires me up. I'm a very passionate person.
I'll try and fire you up.
Yeah, well, I'm very passionate about a lot of things.
Golf.
So, yeah, I like to golf. I love my Dolphins. I love, a lot of things.
Any dolphin fallout from yesterday?
Fallout.
Yeah, just fallout.
Yeah, people keep asking about the
Tua.
Tua thing. That was he actually concussed at the end of the first half? And Mike McDaniel says no, it was a back injury.
Isn't that interesting? Is that what's happening in NFL now? We're getting around concussions by identifying other injuries. No, it's my neck. I mean,
It's his man's back. Come on, tweaked his back.
I got pain in my nose, not in my head. I'm
Apparently,
fine.
he kind of rolled up his ankle. Also,
Oh, is that right?
Seriously, I think McDaniel is kind of playing with the media right now. He's such a nerd. I love the guy, and I think he's like, he kind of got a back and maybe now an ankle actually.
I like this.
But I can tell you what, it's not. It's not a concussion.
I think it's an ankle.
It might be his calf. You just never know. So no Dolphins fallout. That's where we're at with things right now.
I don't know that we should be making light.
We're not making light of a
concussions.
concussion, but they seem adamant that there is no concussion. Now the NFL PA, the Players Association, is investigating what happened at halftime to see if the Dolphins did,
Follow the protocols
of the concussions. Yeah, of checking for concussions. Now it will take 1 to 2 weeks for that apparently. So Tua will play against Cincinnati on Thursday. Then we got 10 days off before we play the next game.
Oh God!
It'd be great.
Oh come on! Those
Slap
guys
us
are
with
smart.
the fine
Those
and
guys are
move on.
smart. They're smart.
Slap with the fine and move on.
Come on, that's just smart.
Yeah.
That is called playing chess.
Well, I got a smart coach right now.
Again,
Mike McDaniel, first time head coach, already playing chess, baby.
Again,
What a man.
please don't come at us with the concussion thing. I'm just saying.
Brian T says this in the text line. Funny. I hurt my back all the time, and I've never walked like a stumble down drunk when it happens like Tua did.
Oh, did he?
He might have got a nerve in his back. Might have pinched in there.
And it maybe
Right?
shot up to his brain.
It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible. You never know. All I know is that he looked fine in the second half. If he looked woozy and it was apparent that something was wrong, then okay, that the Dolphins messed up and Tua messed up and Mike McDaniel messed up. But he had a good second half. He had one terrible throw that was a dropped pick. Other than that, a very good second half.
This all strikes me as a little insensitive, but
Well, what else is new for me and you?
more you.
Yeah, me. What, Gus? Don't look at me like that.
Yeah. You are not exactly Mr. Sensitive.
I got more and more texts yesterday regarding the True Red call that I hung up on
Oh,
him.
really?
And I got support for it, actually.
Did you?
They said, yeah, man, it was funny. They thought it was funny. I wasn't trying to be a jerk.
Well, you don't have to try to be a
Yeah, there's no try. I already am.
Listen, you were fine on that. I signed off on it completely.
Yeah. Terrell
okay?
Farley chimes in saying Dolphins suck. They don't. They're 3-0.
Terrell.
Yep.
That's great that Terrell's with us.
Well, he's up early.
Good morning,
Yeah,
Terrell.
hey, T. Farley. John in Des Moines says, first tampering with Tom Brady and now covering Tua's injury. The Dolphins are becoming the WWE bad guy who tries to cheat when the referee turns their back.
Yeah.
Winners win, John. Winners win.
Yeah, if you've been in that Dolphins parking lot before a game, it does seem a little WWE, doesn't it?
Yeah, there was a fire in a car the other day. Yeah, the grill got caught on fire, and it does get crazy down there though.
Yeah, it does.
I've been the tailgate lot. It gets crazy.
Real crazy.
I enjoyed it though.
Oh, I'm sure
I
you
fit
did.
right in with the people.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I did.
Now let's talk Husker.
Hey, by the way, quick note. The Cowboys do win last night, 23-16 on Monday Night Football. The Giants no longer undefeated. So get that out there.
Dolphins are undefeated.
Dolphins are. Hello. 464-5685, call or text as always. We'll still have plenty of coach discussion today about the flavor of the week and the coaching search, but I want to ask you guys a real question. Help me out here because I'm baffled by something. Now, Vegas usually knows things when they put out their lines for the weekend. Yeah, they've been wrong about Nebraska this year the whole time. They thought Nebraska was a favorite against Georgia Southern by 21 points, lost. Favorite against Northwestern, lost.
North Dakota.
North Dakota, I don't think they covered the spread in that game.
It was probably close.
It was close. I think there was a 20-point spread. There was
and they ended up winning by 21.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. So Nebraska begins the week as a 3.5-point favorite against Indiana. It's anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5, depending where you look at it. Indiana's 3-1 with a 1-0 conference record. They beat Illinois early in the season. Nebraska has one win against North Dakota, with losses to Northwestern, who's awful, Georgia Southern, and Oklahoma. Can you please explain to me, Sip, why or how this team, without its, with head coach fired, defensive coordinator fired, yes, coming off a bye week, but still 1-3, should be favored in any football game right now, especially in conference play?
Well,
Help me out.
Especially against a 3-1 team that's not bad, Indiana.
No, that's not a bad team.
It's strange. I will tell you that I agree with you.
I'm just lost. I'm just baffled by it. I'd like the text line to try to explain, or callers at 464-5685, but I see this and I don't get it.
If you're betting on Nebraska, you're betting on Nebraska winning a track meet. Okay. You're betting on Trey Palmer and Marcus Washington, on Isaiah Garcia Castaneda and Alante Brown, literally putting on track shoes, and Anthony Grant putting on track shoes, not football cleats, and winning probably a game where Nebraska, if it's going to win, would have to probably score 35. I mean, 35.
I think at least.
See that? I know that's the thing. Now think about the pressure on that side of the ball. You guys, if we're going to win this, we got to probably score 35. And Casey, you're going to have to throw for 300 at the minimum,
at least
the minimum
in the first half.
Right. Because Indiana, I'll give you a stat.
I'd like a stat.
Here's a stat for you. Heading into Saturday, the Indiana Hoosiers, there's only one team in the country that has run more plays than Indiana. The Hoosiers ran 104 plays alone in the loss to Cincinnati and have 337 on the season. So what does that mean? Here's what it means to me. Nebraska has been mistake prone on defense, alignment issues, bus at the line of scrimmage,
right.
Bus in the back end. The more plays that are run, the more chances there are for bus and misalignment and mental errors. And also, you see where I'm going with that?
I do.
Indiana revs it up. Connor Bazelak threw it 66 times against Indiana, 55 times the game before that, 66 times. Nebraska's weakness on defense, they're all over the place, but they're most profound in the secondary and inside linebacker, where they'll pick on those guys in coverage.
Whether it's tight ends or the guy in the slot.
Right.
Yeah.
So, it's scary. Indiana's going to come on. Indiana's, first of all, they're going to come in. They're not going to be scared. The night game thing, I used to say, well, it's at night. That really helps.
Georgia Southern played like they were Georgia that night.
They were playing like it was a 7-on-7 game in Memorial Stadium.
Of two-hand touch.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't rattled at all by that scene.
They were actually playing really good football.
Yeah,
They were energized by it.
yeah. Van Treese wasn't shaken by the crowd at all. I mean, not even a little bit. It didn't seem like, right? So throw that out. I used to play that night game card, but I'm not really playing that anymore. Teams come in there at night and they're just fine. They operate just fine.
Nebraska did last season. They played pretty well at night. They blasted
Northwestern,
Northwestern.
Michigan,
The Michigan game was awesome, and they lost the game, but it was a good football game against a good football team.
Well, they had Adrian back then.
Of course, Sip. They had Adrian. Yeah, they
Remember,
did.
They had
I
Adrian.
do recall. They had Adrian Martinez.
Very
back then.
stable at quarterback.
Oh yeah, the most stable. Okay, help us out here though. 402-464-5685. I'm just trying to find any reason why, besides just baiting Nebraska fans, if Vegas is looking at this game and sees Nebraska as a favorite, it is a home game. It's a night game, which we just discussed doesn't matter as a night game. Why would Nebraska? Why should they be favored if you believe the line is correct? Why, in your opinion, Husker fan, is Nebraska the better team? Why should they win this game when they are not playing good football at all?
Because Indiana ranks 109th nationally in total defense.
Well,
Nebraska ranks 127th.
Exactly. With that being said, you should expect a track meet.
Yeah.
It should be a high-scoring game. Now, what you said about the Indiana offense, they have the second most plays in all of Power 5 or FBS.
Right.
That means, guess what? They also convert third downs. Then they keep drives moving at that play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
not a bunch of huge plays. I mean, they probably have had some long plays.
They're not efficient,
but it's going to be, they're going to convert third downs though.
Yeah,
I would say maybe don't always finish drives, but
yeah. So they have some guys that concern you, and Cam Camper's number one on the list. He's a big receiver. Big receiver, Texas kid, was targeted 17 times against Cincinnati, had 10 catches for 126 yards. I like him, and I like their running back, Sean Shivers, 19 carries for 79 yards against Cincinnati, and he's a little hide behind the line, scored out of their running back, 5'7", 185, but tough Big Ten running back. Well coached. Indiana's well coached. And Indiana is going to come in playing for a lot. They're not rattled. Nebraska's been rattled, right? Indiana's not rattled right now. I mean, they lost a game they were supposed to lose at Cincinnati and didn't play all that badly in the second half. They played poorly in the first half, down 38-10.
Good second half.
But Cincinnati on that game rushed 30 times for 40 yards. Okay.
Not running the ball.
They didn't run the ball. Cincinnati did not run the ball. Now let's see what Nebraska can do against Indiana. I noticed against Illinois, I thought one of the impressions that Indiana left me with in the Illinois game was I thought they looked pretty physical up front. Not great. They're not great on defense. They're not 109th nationally, but they looked pretty physical up front. And they did a good job against Cincinnati's run game. Real good job against Cincinnati's run game. It was Ben Bryant, the Cincinnati quarterback, who sliced them up in the first half, 300 yards passing in the first half. So Casey should have a night. He should have a night.
He should, if he has time to throw the ball.
Mm-hmm. And this is big. I mean, everybody agrees, I think, that this is a pretty big game for Nebraska.
Seriously,
I know it sounds strange.
It does sound strange, but it is, because if you want this season to still be something, if you want it to potentially, hey, maybe something sparks the team and they win 3 or 4 games or at least have contention for a bowl game.
Yeah.
If they lose this game, I don't think there's any chance it happens.
You wouldn't probably think.
Like I said before the season, Northwestern was, again, I thought the biggest game of the season, and Nebraska sits here 1-3 because it was a tone setter for the season. Like last season, I'm not trying to say I'm right all the time.
Every game's a
tone. But Nebraska has had 2 chances the last 2 years against bottom teams in the Big Ten to set the tone and change the narrative of the seasons, and they've lost both of them. Last year they went 3-9. This year, after 4 games, they've already out their head coach and their defensive coordinator because they didn't set the tone
it's not
properly
even
against Northwestern.
It's not even the end of September.
Yeah.
I mean, and
you've already
we're in a
got
coaching search.
We're
yeah.
in carnage already here. It's carnage.
So you wonder a couple things. I couldn't sleep last night, and I was thinking about stuff like this. Nebraska players, these guys don't exist in a cave. They know what's going on around them. What must Nebraska players think about the narrative that's going on around them? The narrative being everybody's looking toward the future. Who's the next coach? They're following other teams closely. They're following Adrian at Kansas State. It's kind of like, wait, what about us? We're playing too. But it's not. It's kind of like everybody's moved on, right?
Yes.
I don't know. I feel badly for the kids in that conversation. I do. It's kind of like, is there a lot of people amped up for this game?
No,
Nebraska fans? No.
Are you kidding me?
It's only September and we're looking toward the future. I mean, I told you, I was telling you before the show, I posted a column at 5:30 a.m., like at the middle of the night. And there's like, I looked down and there's 8 comments on it already. It wasn't about Nebraska versus Indiana. It was about Dave Aranda.
People are on to next season.
Well, how do you think that feels for the players?
Well, that's why I'm curious. How do you keep their attention right now? Because they already know the guys that they were playing for are gone.
Well,
a head coach and a coordinator are gone.
I will tell you this unequivocally because I know it for a fact. Mickey Joseph, both publicly and privately, is trying to pump confidence into those guys.
That's what a coach should do. I'm glad he's doing that.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, well, he should. He shouldn't say, well, let's just lose the rest of the games and move on.
No, Jake, but do you think that Bill Belichick has to do that all the time? Maybe right now.
Well, Bill Belichick.
But do you think it's really high on your coach's list right now to do that?
No, it's not.
Right, it's not. So don't say it. Act like it's just something that's always.
This is
happening.
also a coach that just got hired after 4 games to be the head coach now in the midseason without being able to get new players or coaches really. So that's why it's a little different than being the head coach and having to do that. This is the original head coach. It's an interim coach. It's hard to get the guys on board.
Anyway, I was almost going to do an imitation of you, but I'm doing that a little too often right now.
Okay, easy on those. You can't ruin them.
I know if you do it too much, it ruins it. Yeah. But yeah, that is a concern of mine. Also, there's a theory that was bouncing around my cranium, and that is this. Look at what Northwestern's done, okay? They've lost 3 straight games to the Murderers Row on their home field of Duke, Southern Illinois, Miami of Ohio, on their home field. Northwestern's not good. Those Nebraska players are smart. They watched film all off season of Northwestern, played them last year and beat them 56-7. Then watched film of them. You know who knew that Northwestern was bad? Nebraska. Do you know what that means in their head when they lost that game? My guess is it's a theory, but they watched film of Northwestern. They knew they weren't that good. They knew they probably could lose to these teams, Miami of Ohio and Duke. I don't know if they would have dreamed they'd lose to frickin' Southern Illinois. But I bet these Nebraska players knew. You don't think Casey Thompson watched film and said, Northwestern's not very good?
Yeah, well.
Right?
This is a team that also blasted that team last season.
Right. So what do you think when they lost that game in Ireland? What do you think goes through their heads? I watched this team. I watched this team on film for 2 months. We thought we were in great position, and we lost the damn game.
Now, do you understand why I said that was the most important game of the season? It's a tone setter. To show
every opener is a tone setter.
No, specifically when you're losing and not making bowl games and you have what it should be a winnable game.
Right. Oh, I agree. I don't disagree.
You're not opening against Michigan or Ohio State. You're opening against freaking Northwestern.
Who you watched on film go 3-9 last year.
Who you watched on your home field and get beat 56-7.
Right. And you probably watched them going, they look like a 3-9 team again, despite what Jake's saying on the radio, that they're going to go 9-3 this year magically.
I didn't say that. I said they could. It's an even year. It's an even year for Pitts.
That's a great.
That's all.
Yeah.
all I said. I never said 9-3.
But
So
anyway,
they could have a good season.
Nebraska was so rattled after that game, and I bet that's a lot of it. Those guys aren't dumb.
Well, everything you were
They're not dumb at all. Actually,
training for and working for, you lost the game in Dublin.
and you lost to a team you knew wasn't very good.
You were a double-digit favorite. I mean, you're an 11, 12-point favorite in that game.
What's going on, what I'm trying to emphasize here is what's going on with Northwestern, while it might be a surprise to you, is probably no surprise at all to anybody in that Nebraska program who watched any film at all.
Which is why they had to win that game.
Partly.
And look, we're in shambles. We're a month past that. I mean, the game was a month ago today, the 27th. Today is September 27th. Now, a month ago today, we watched Nebraska in Dublin lose to Northwestern. Now everything's up and.
I mean, they probably thought they're going to win that game fairly easily.
Well, they're up by 11 points 2 different times in both halves. From the text line, this is from Sandman. You might appreciate this one. 402-464-5685. Hey, Jake, I can't see it on the video stream, but if you're drinking something, could you hold up your glass, please? I assume it's always half empty. Depends what we're talking about here, Sandman. Dolphins, half full. Huskers, half understandably so right now.
Said it's, what
Well,
if you said it's inappropriate?
Nothing inappropriate.
What if you said that would be judged to be overly negative?
Okay,
Nothing.
now that's a good question.
Nothing. I don't think you've said anything.
I am a realist. I see the situation. Nebraska's 1-3. I said before the season they had to beat Northwestern. That was the most important game, and thus far that appears to be a good statement because everything's up. Everything is ruined now.
Okay, the one that I only take on your big opening game spiel of the last 3 years.
Please defend it.
I'm not
Please
sure. Like,
are
are you trying to convince me that if Nebraska had beaten Northwestern, they'd be sitting pretty right now?
there's a better chance.
Well, of course there would be a better chance.
They might be 3-1.
But you think their defense would just be magically okay?
No, but I think they believe they could win a game.
Yeah, belief would be a little higher.
Yeah, belief. You need belief badly right now. You need belief.
But all these issues didn't just happen because they lost to Northwestern. I mean,
no, but it didn't help things at all.
Thank you.
You didn't close the
game. Losing typically doesn't help.
A 3-9 football team with a lot of guys back from last year lost a close football game again, which is what they lost all last season. That's a really damning thing.
It is.
I
mean, it was a terrible loss.
Prove that things are going a different direction.
Right, and they lost, and it was not good. Ugh.
It was bad.
So why people are going to turn off their radios?
Oh no, they're not.
If we don't come up with a better angle here. We know the Northwestern loss was bad.
That was a month ago today.
Was it really?
It was 6 years ago. At this point.
I know. It was only a month ago.
Yeah.
Oh God.
There's been a lot of things that have happened in a month.
It's like, yeah, it's almost like we never went to Ireland.
It doesn't feel like it did, does it?
Kind of.
That was this year. Except that was a month ago.
It was a month.
Feels like last year at this point with all the stuff that's happened since then.
It does.
That's crazy.
We were in Ireland.
Yeah, we were there.
And I will always remember it as a joyous experience.
It was a great trip.
Yeah. Dublin.
Great trip.
Dublin. I recommend it.
Yes. Okay, we got a phone call.
Oh, Vinny.
From Vince in Napa, California. Vince, good morning. You're on early break. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning, fellas. How are you?
Well, you know what? I'd say okay. Can you add to the discussion?
Well, I'll try to make the decision at least marginally interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, but before I get into Jake's question about why Nebraska, why there's a compelling reason for Nebraska to be favored, but the thing that I'm most interested in this game is that Coach Joseph was talking about how we need to slow the game down.
Yes.
What I'm most interested in is that how does our version of slowing the game down work? Because I think when people hear of slowing the game down, they kind of have this image of an offense going into a shell, which I don't think it has to look like. I don't think because slow the game down doesn't have to mean, well, just run it twice up the middle and then throw a check down on third and on third down. I think most notably, number one, I think it's a matter of getting. I think it's a matter of being a run first team more so than anything.
Yeah.
But also huddling up and also using and also using a large chunk of the play clock. I mean, don't snap the ball when there's, say, 20, 25 seconds left, because, that's a good, that's a good way right there to wear your defense out. And Nebraska's defense just isn't built for that. I don't think any defense really is, but especially the state that we're in. But and that's what that's what I'm most interested in. But as far as why is Nebraska favored? I mean, I don't know. I looked at that and I kind of just shook my head. I just think that, they're counting on the fact that Nebraska had a bye. You're going against an Indiana team that, compared to most teams, is more beatable than others. And I think they're also counting on the fact that, given that Nebraska had a bye, maybe they had a chance to address some things. The question is how much, and also they're looking at it as, well, some days the sun even shines on a dog's ass.
Wow.
But,
wow.
but more than anything, fellas, I'll tell you I'll tell you this right now.
Okay.
With our mighty Indiana Hoosiers coming to town, there's one approach we take.
What's that?
If we can't get along, we might as well get it on. Let's get it on.
Okay, Vince. Okay, here's the deal,
man.
Jake. There's an interesting subplot in this game, and that is Mickey Joseph, the interim head coach, asking Mark Whipple to slow it down. Whipple is a tempo coach. He loves up-tempo offense. That's what he is. It would be a tune to me asking you to calm the hell down. It ain't happening. It'd be like me asking you to be quiet. Quiet down. Quiet radio today, Jake.
Yeah, we're just going to be whisper time.
Yeah, we're just going to be very measured in our thoughts. Today. Yes, we're going to be very measured.
It's boring.
Whipple, there is an interesting subplot here. What is that offense going to look like if it's slowed down? And Vince is right. Nebraska absolutely should slow it down. Limit Indiana's possessions. Help your awful defense. Help it. Keep it off the field. That Oklahoma game, Mickey was absolutely right. You just kept putting that bad defense out there. And Oklahoma took full advantage before Mickey realized it was too late. 35-7, he said, before I realized, I probably should be slowing it down. It was 35-7, game's over. Right?
Yeah. It was.
So he won't make that mistake again. But the question is, how will Whipple be amenable to it? Will Whipple say, okay, coach, okay, interim coach, I'll slow it down? You'd think he would.
We'll see.
Wouldn't you think he would?
I think Whipple wants to win games.
Is Mickey going to fire Whipple?
No. Everyone's getting fired.
Right. This Sunday. We got to have that Sunday presser. Got to have that Sunday presser. Hey, by the way, the Vegas Bobcat is listening from...
Where's he at today? He was in Europe yesterday, right?
Vegas Bobcat, I'm saying good morning to you. He's listening from... It's spelled TBILISI. TBILISI. That's where that's where the Vegas Bobcat is listening from.
What is that? A country or a city?
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Help us out, Vegas. Wait, Textures. Have you heard of that place, Textures?
TBILISI.
More next on Early Break of the Ticket.
An entire week celebrating Lincoln's Craft Brewers is just around the corner. September 26th through October 2nd is Lincoln Craft Brew Week. Head to lincoln.org/beer tour for a complete schedule of events at your favorite local establishments. Brought to you by the Lincoln Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Network Partners and Lincoln reminds you that care of our war veterans should be a concern to our society. We owe today's achievements and prosperity to them for fighting to secure our country's safety. They deserve health care, jobs when they return from battle, and the support we can give them through veteran organizations and special events. Together, we can make a difference in their lives. This tribute from network partners in Lincoln, wishing Godspeed to our fighting men and women, thanking them for all they do.
Did you know that the U.S. has added over 1,100 new breweries in the last 18 months? Learn more by shopping at Myers Cork and Bottle, 13th and South, and by tuning into Thirsty Thursdays with Kevin Myers, because sports are better with a drink in your hand and a friend at your side.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
The weather in Nebraska is unpredictable every day, and that's no fun when you're trying to golf. Double Eagle Golf in West Lincoln is now open to let you play in perfect indoor conditions daily. Double Eagle Golf has 5 simulator bays to hit in, by far the most in Lincoln. It has a fully stocked bar with beers and cocktails for you to enjoy while you play. Double Eagle Golf is open each weekday from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., so you can start the day there, take a client over lunch, or end the night with friends. Check out Double Eagle Golf today inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
Casey's General Stores is giving away 2 tickets to each Nebraska football home game this season. To enter, just head to any Casey's General Store location in Lincoln during the football season, scan the QR code at the front counter, and fill out the online form. One winner will be chosen at random 2 days before that week's game. So head over to Casey's, stock up on all your tailgating snacks and drinks, and register to win 2 tickets to a Nebraska football game, brought to you by Casey's General Store and 93.7 The Ticket.
Water heater gone? Call Bryant. The price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. And in most cases, same-day replacement. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111.
Chances are you've tried fruitcake before. Chances are it looked pretty weird. Lots of colors that don't really exist in nature. Chances are it tasted weird. Chances are you need to try fruitcake again. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. None of that weird stuff you didn't like, just real fruit, premium nuts, and the delicious flavor combination of brandy, bourbon, and rum to meld all that together. See for yourself. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Get an immediate look back at the game from the people who know it best. It's the Tanner's post-game show and the final word live from Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Hear from former players and national champions like Jay Foreman, Rashawn Jackson, and Aaron Davis and see what they saw in that day's game. It's the Tanner's post-game show and the final word. Live and in person, home or away at Tanner's Bar and Grill, brought to you by Bauer Infrastructure. Only here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This
Anybody who knows me knows I was cocky out of the womb.
is Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Weekday mornings from 6 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We have awesome listeners. I want to shout you guys out, 402-464-5685. Thanks for calling, texting, watching. Per your question before the break of where Vegas Bobcats at, Tbilisi. People are saying it's the capital city of the country, the Republic of Georgia. Not Georgia, the state, but Georgia, the country.
Man, the Vegas Bobcat is everywhere. He's everywhere.
Greg in Myrtle Beach, our good friend, says it's a gorgeous old city in the capital of Georgia, the former Russian province.
All right, Vegas.
I hope you're having a good time out there in Tbilisi. Never been before. Never heard of it before this morning. I want to ask a question regarding, okay, so we talked about not coach search stuff for the first segment for the first time in a long time. I asked why Nebraska was favored against Indiana, which I still don't understand, but it's great. So my question is this. Regarding Nebraska's head coaching search, does the Nebraska job lean more to Lance Leipold if he keeps winning at a high rate? Like if he gets to 8 wins, is it just done at that point where everyone else is out? Lance is our guy. Is that kind of where we feel things are going here? Possibly.
Possibly. It's a big if, by the way.
Oh, it's a huge if.
So
I mean, they could get to 6-0. We talked about the next 2 games. They're 4-0. They got Iowa State this week. Then they got TCU, 2 unranked teams.
So they got, they're 4-0. They're sitting in a good spot because both Iowa State and TCU are going into Lawrence.
That's right.
Which will
Unranked
probably
teams.
be sold out again.
Absolutely. It should be. These are conference games now. We're not talking about Duke, which is a good non-conference game.
It is.
But these are conference games.
Yeah.
Come on, KU fans. Show up. Sell it out again.
The question's going to be is how much would the enthusiasm tamp down with Lance if they lose the next 2?
Yeah, that's tough.
Right? Or if they split the next 2.
Well, I don't think it stops if they split. I mean, he's not going undefeated at Kansas.
Right. It feels like the Campbell discussion is pretty cool in the fan base.
I feel like it's dead.
But it might be dead in the fan base's mind.
Yeah,
Is it dead in Trev's mind?
I think if you're a fan, that I'm not speaking for all the fans here. I try to do that, but I'm not going to do that this time. I'm not going to speak for all the fans. I do not sense any excitement from the fan base in that.
What if are we just doing this thing now where if Campbell goes and beats Leipold on Saturday, that the fan base just shifts to Campbell and away from Leipold? Is that what's going on?
I could see that happening if they blow Kansas out. I
don't.
But that's
I don't
why,
understand
that's why this is it's fun, but it's also just miserable at the same time because we're all over the place. I mean, fans are all over the place. Every Saturday, it's high and low.
I don't know.
This guy's out. This guy's back in now.
I don't know if they're all over the place on this coaching search. It seems like fans are dialed in on just a handful of guys. Now, Trev could be off with someone else on the hook or have some other people in his sights. But it doesn't seem like Nebraska fans are all over the map in terms of who they've locked in on. There's 4 or 5 guys that pretty much are the heart of the conversation. Leipold and Aranda right now are probably 1 and 2 on the list, and you can put one above the other, and it probably doesn't matter to me. I think it comes down to partly, I think Nebraska would have a hard time reeling in Dave Aranda. I don't think Nebraska would have a hard time reeling in Lance Leipold.
No, I agree with you.
Okay. I heard yesterday, source, and I don't know if this was maybe it was published, and I admittedly didn't look it up. Aranda rejected overtures last year from USC and LSU. Now, a little different situation. Not a lot different than it would be now, but if he's rejecting LSU and USC, why would Nebraska have a chance to get him? He's making $6 million.
And LSU, by the way, paid Brian Kelly a lot of money.
Right.
So it's not like they don't have the money. They have the money.
They got the money.
He could have got the money from LSU.
Yeah. So if he's rejecting overtures, not rejecting job offers, overtures, just stiff arming overtures from LSU and USC, and he's making $6 million at Baylor, it's going to take a truckload of money to get him, and I don't think Aranda's even driven by money. I know Lance isn't even making $3 million. You're going to get Lance. You better pay him $5 million just because the salary's got to reflect the seriousness of the position. He's got to make a minimum of $5 million. And Lance isn't going to be saying, well, I want more. He's not that guy. And by the way, Leipold would finish his career here.
As long as he wins, yeah.
Yeah, as long as he wins.
I would ask this for Dave Aranda. Does he want back in the Big Ten? He's been a coordinator here before at Wisconsin. Then he went to LSU, of course, and had success there. Would he rather be a head coach, if he could, in the Big Ten or SEC, or just stick in the Big 12?
I don't know. Here's what I'm going to tell you about Aranda. Okay. And maybe we did this yesterday. I can't remember. I'll do it again. Why would Alberts be attracted to Aranda? It's pretty evident. It's pretty
well,
evident.
He's a winner, right?
No, it's more evident than that.
Okay.
Or it's more, yeah, he's a winner. I mean, yeah. But he's also a defensive coach.
Mm-hmm.
Trev, it wasn't a bad defender, right?
No, not at all.
Okay. Aranda is quiet and reserved. Alberts, who's his foremost mentor? A quiet and reserved coach in Tom Osborne. Alberts told us on September 11th he wants Nebraska to win the line of scrimmage, and he puts a premium on that. Aranda builds from the inside out. Watch Baylor. Tough in the trenches. Fist fighters. That's what Trev likes. And then, Jake, I want you to think about this. What does Trev always do? He preaches the importance of details, right? Details. Be detail-oriented. What do you think that Trev thought last season? What do you think he thought last season when Baylor was leading Oklahoma by 10 points with 3 seconds left and Aranda kicked a field goal to take it from 10 to 13, knowing he'd get a lot of heat? But you know why he did it? Because he had the foresight to research that the Big 12's third tiebreaker used if teams are tied ahead of the Big 12 championship game. The tiebreaker is point differential. That's why he kicked that field goal against Oklahoma, leading by 10 with 3 seconds left. A lot of coaches that would have no idea about that.
Well, they get flack for it. He probably did get flack.
Got a lot of flack for it.
But he had a reason for it.
But he had a good reason for it. It was late in the season when they beat Oklahoma. I know he was, because he said it. He was thinking about the point differential. Now, that is called detail. What do you think an AD would think of that?
He knows his stuff.
Yeah. That's a coach who is
Well-versed.
detail-oriented, right? That's why. Now, Aranda and Leipold, to me, share a lot of similarities, but Lance is more of an offensive coach. But Lance is detail-oriented, no nonsense. Neither of them are going to win the press conference. That's not they're not going to do that. Lance is not Winston Churchill at the podium like Trev is.
Doesn't have
Nor
to
is
be.
Aranda.
Doesn't have to be.
No, you don't. I don't think people care about that much.
If you win games, we don't care.
Right. But beside those two, I think those two guys right now have captivated much of the fan base. Now that conversation can change, but how's Bill O'Brien going to captivate the fan base? Nobody's looking at, Alabama put 55 on Vandy or whatever they put on Vandy. Nobody's saying, see, O'Brien's got the Alabama offense going now. Nobody's really having that conversation, right?
Well, we've said who would win the press conference at this point.
Urban.
I don't. Yeah, but again, for me and you, yeah. But for all the fan base, no.
You know what?
Like Dave Aranda, doesn't he get people more in tune than Urban Meyer would be in terms of collectively?
Yes.
Unity?
Yes. You're suggesting that Dave Aranda would, I don't want to say unify the fan base, but the prevailing sentiment, if Nebraska were to hire Dave Aranda, would be positive.
Sure. Yeah. Yes, I agree with that.
I don't know if I can say that about Lance right now.
If they keep winning, yes.
Yes.
Yep. I think you have a lot of interest, right? People's interest is peaked with
they're paying
Lance
attention.
Leipold.
They're paying attention, and they'll pay attention this weekend, big time, when Iowa State goes into Lawrence. The thing I wonder about Kansas is that I just don't know how their defense is going to hold up. They're not big and they're not overly physical. They are a good offensive team with a great quarterback and really strong receiving core and two good running backs and an offensive line that's overachieving. But that defense, I watched them, Jake. They're not They just have to make plays at key times because they're going to give up yards. They got to make plays at key times. That's what they rely on.
Well, they have so far.
Yes.
And maybe they keep doing it. Because now they believe they can.
Yeah, there's definitely belief.
That sounds corny. I don't care. They're doing it. They're doing
It doesn't sound corny.
Thank you. Thank you for backing me up. Song of the day is next, and a special guest in studio on Early Break in the Ticket.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Look at your car. It's filthy and probably has a few dings and nicks all over it. Don't be that guy. Get it upgraded and repaired at Renew Your Auto. At Renew Your Auto, they offer tons of services: ceramic coating, window tinting, paintless dent repair, washes and details, bed liners, body shop, and more. Where can you go to get services like that all in one place? Schedule your appointment today at RenewYourAuto.com. See what Renew can do for you. A good game with good friends. But isn't it time to up the score when it comes to the food? Wings and Rings is here for every football fan. Catch the game on one of their big screens or snag a tail great pack to go. They're cranking up the heat and throwing in mad flavor this season. Stop by your locally owned Wings and Rings on O Street, Meridian Park, or 48th and Old Cheney in Williamsburg Village, or grab some crave-worthy Wings and Rings to go. Make them your go-to destination to watch your team bring home the win. Wings and Rings. Game time just got better.
Chances are you've tried fruitcake before. Chances are it looked pretty weird. Lots of colors that don't really exist in nature. Chances are it tasted weird. Chances are you need to try fruitcake again. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. None of that weird stuff you didn't like, just real fruit, premium nuts, and the delicious flavor combination of brandy, bourbon, and rum to meld all that together. See for yourself. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. Online at BeatriceBakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum. Tractor Supply is looking for full-time team members for their Waverly Distribution Center. Applicants can expect a 3- and 4-day work week schedule with additional overtime days with both day and night shift schedules available. Stand-up forklift and high-reach forklift experience is a plus for open positions, but they're willing to train for those without experience. At Tractor Supply, they work hard, have fun, and make money. Apply today at tractorsupply.jobs.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
Hey, buying a used vehicle sucks, and the biggest problem is who can you trust? Hey, this is Carl from Price Right Auto out here at West O Street in Lincoln. Here's what customers have told us they want from us. They want transparent pricing with no games. We have all of our pricing on our website, plus a Carfax report. We don't want to buy a lemon. We include a 3-month warranty on all of our vehicles. We don't want to play games. Just make it simple. We saw that with non-commissioned salespeople. Can you trust us? Just check out our Google reviews. Again, this is Carl from Price Right Auto in West O. Check us out at PriceRightAuto.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and things are cooking in Louisville. Right now, our pre-owned sales are off the charts, and we have loaded up the lots full of inventory. We've got a great supply of Sierras, Silverados, Tahoes, Yukons, and crossovers. Plus, we've got a great supply of back-to-school cars just in time for the big day. Don't forget about all of those new 2022 and 2023 units arriving every day as well. So please take that short, money-saving drive down 144th Street or shop online at KoppelCars.com. You'll be glad you did.
You love to bash his sports takes.
Now, will you feel like an idiot if you're
No,
a big tough?
never feel like an
If
idiot.
you're a big tough guy this morning,
But you really love to voice your displeasure for his music choices.
he stumbled on an issue that I did not think would generate this much passion and discussion.
It's time for Jake's questionable song of the day on Early Break on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I keep forgetting we're not in love anymore. I keep forgetting things will never be the same again. I keep forgetting how you made that so clear. I keep forgetting now. Every time you're near, every time I see your smile, hear your hello, saying you can only stay a while.
Song of the day, I Keep Forgetting by Michael McDonald from 1982. 464-56851 is bad, 10 is good. Text your rating on the Sauter Heyman Jewelers Song of the Day.
But down that park I keep forgetting we're not in love anymore. I keep forgetting things will never be the same again. I keep forgetting how you made that so clear. I keep forgetting, babe. Every time I hear.
If that song sounds familiar without knowing that song, it's because it's the same beat that you hear for Regulate by Warren G and Nate Dogg. It's the same beat. Same beat.
Wow,
The
teaching
the
us
first
things.
part, yeah.
Teaching us
Yeah, the song of
things.
the day is I Keep Forgetting by Michael McDonald from 1982. 464-56851 is bad. 10 is good. Text your rating on the Sauter Heyman Jewelers Song of the Day.
My guess is somebody was driving home from Sioux City and
No.
heard that song.
Nope. I heard that over the weekend.
Really?
Yep. I liked it. I liked that song for a long time.
That's a
I've
good one.
never had it for Song of the Day though.
That's
It's a good
sort of
song, though.
yeah. That's not a well-known song. I don't remember what you played yesterday. Oh yeah, you played Weezer.
Yeah. Keep
played-
Fishing by Weezer.
You
yeah.
played a Weezer deep cut and it was really good. Now you played. I'd say that is. I don't know. Is that deep cut?
Kind of from Michael McDonald.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah.
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 Very.
you know,
Your
Those Doobie
originality
Brothers.
right now is getting you good scores. That's really surprising song to play, and I appreciate your originality and the surprise factor is high. You surprised me with that. I used to have an editor who would always say, "Surprise me," and that's what you did. That is I gave Weezer yesterday an 8.8. I'll
Yes.
give that a 8.9.
Nice.
8.9.
Gus got a grease board over there.
Come on, Gussie.
He says a 9.5.
8.3.
8.3.
Okay, we have a special.
We got a
guest.
special guest, yeah. Special, not special. Special guest in studio. Mike Chandra from Choices Treatment Center. Before we get into why you're here,
Yeah.
Mike, we always have our guests during the segment rate their song. Rate my song. A 1 is bad. A 10 is good. Did you like it? What do you grade it?
Oh yeah, definitely a solid 8 today. So it's
I saw you jamming over. You had the head
yeah,
bobbing.
my head was bobbing. Yeah, we got a solid 8 out of that. It's a good morning song, definitely. I feel like it gets you in the right mood for what we got going on
For
this
life.
morning.
So
yeah, for life.
8.9, 8.3, and an 8 flat.
How old are you?
I'm 44.
44. So yeah, you're kind of in the middle of me and Jake.
Yes, he is. Almost right in the middle, actually. Well, Mike is here for a special reason. Again, we have Mike Chandra from Choices Treatment Center. And if you don't know what that is, that's why we're here to tell you what Choices Treatment Center is. Because, Sip, as you know, this is a busy time of the year. You got football going. You got basketball coming up soon. You got baseball. Right now, it is a big time for sports betting. And while sports betting is fun, there are two sides to sports betting. And also, by the way, the casino, Warhorse, opened up on Saturday. And Mike is here for the other side of gambling, the one that, if you get in trouble, if you do too much, you can have problems. And Mike is here to talk about that. So, Mike, thanks for being here. Tell us about why your guys' place is so important and how people can reach out if they have issues.
Well, I mean, right now, like you mentioned, with all the different various forms of sports betting going on, football season's obviously huge for sports betting. And with the casinos opening right now, it's just a huge time for us to make sure that we're educating people on what the proper ways to gamble responsibly are, as well as if somebody does, like you said, if they have a problem, just to make sure that they know the resources that are out there for them. And we're lucky in the state of Nebraska that people have a lot of resources available if you do think you have a problem with your gambling.
This addiction is always, it struck me for a reason. Gambling addiction you don't see.
Exactly.
I mean, you don't see the physical effects. Like if you're a heroin addict, you can see it.
Exactly.
If
Fair.
you have a meth problem, it's very visible. But gambling is not visible.
And that's what is probably the most dangerous part about it, Sip, is that it's considered a silent addiction in the fact that, yeah, you're right. You're not gonna show up drunk somewhere. You're not gonna have the look like you're on
Physical
drugs.
ailments, yeah.
Exactly. You're not gonna be on your breath, anything like that. It also leads to the most shame and guilt for that reason, because before you realize you have a problem or somebody else has a problem, they could be broke by that point or have at least significant financial issues. And it also leads to a lot of emotional issues, anxiety, depression, that sort of thing. And in fact, it's appropriate because it's Suicide Awareness Prevention Month, is that the suicide rates amongst problem gamblers are actually higher than a lot of other addictions for that reason, for that shame, for that guilt, for the fact that it's gotten so far into the addictive process before people realize it.
So how can you tell then if someone is addicted to gambling? Because like Sip said, it's not visible. How can you tell?
Well, I mean, it's good as far as being connected to a family or a friend, as far as what you're looking for in signs of others. Some of the big things that we look at are just way people react when they're like, if they start talking more about gambling, if the person is borrowing money, or you notice they're asking you for money or talking more about money. If you notice just different switches in moods, as in mania versus depression, for a lot of people, for myself, I'm in recovery myself from problem gambling, so I know a lot of these. I thought at one point I assumed I was just bipolar because I was having such highs and such lows. It ended up being the addiction talking, because I was so excited about gambling, but then so low when I would lose or be done. So those are the big things that you notice like that. Just excessive talk, excessive stress, just a lot of focus on money in general.
What do you now? This is a critical question because you know this. It's very sensitive. What do you do if you feel like a loved one is struggling with gambling?
Well, for us,
what can be done?
Oh yeah. So the first thing would be there's several different hotlines to contact. I would start with, I can throw out a plug for Choices, obviously, too, because we have a 24-hour helpline, 402-476-2300. But also there's the Nebraska Gambling Helpline and the National Problem Gambling Helpline. The Nebraska Gambling Helpline is 833-238-6837. The national hotline is 1-800-522-4700. Those are good places to start. If you don't remember those numbers, I understand. You can always Google them, go online and find those. That's a good place to start, because here in the state of Nebraska, we're very blessed because we have what's called the Nebraska Gamblers Assistance Program. So if somebody is struggling with problem gambling, they can receive free treatment and education on problem gambling at no charge to them. It's because of the money that's brought in through things like the casino, through the lottery, through Keno, that sort of thing, provides the funding for that. So in Nebraska, if you're somebody that you suspect, like a friend or a family member, or you yourself feel that way, that there's a problem, reach out to one of those numbers and they'll get you in the hands of the right person. And it doesn't matter where in the state. There's counselors all over the state, like certified gambling counselors who can help you out.
Well, now tell us about the voluntary self-exclusion form.
So that's a big thing right now, in the fact that we are, with the casinos opening up, you can get on the voluntary self-exclusion list here in Nebraska. Essentially what it is, it's a self-ban from casino properties for a certain amount of time. The minimum is 1 year. Right now they're doing 1 year, 3 year, and 5 year, with a lifetime bans coming down the road as well too. But this option is really effective just to kind of slow people down, if nothing else, just to get them at least temporarily, if not permanently, to a place where, hey, I know I can't do this. I just want to stay away from there entirely. Reduces that temptation in a client's life.
And what about the Nebraska Gamblers Assistance Program?
So the Gamblers Assistance Program, like I just talked about a little bit ago, it's basically the program that allows people to receive free treatment at any point. So it's a great program. We're very lucky in the state of Nebraska to have that.
How did you deal with this? As someone, you've dealt with this issue. It's all over. It's pervasive. People talk about gambling all the time. I mean, if you're a sports fan, it's just inherent in the conversation. So how do you deal with those triggers?
Yeah, and that's a great question, because I am a huge sports fan, and a lot of the people that I treat for sports gambling are obviously huge sports fans as well too. It's a matter of first of all, in treatment, we try to treat things holistically as far as get to a root cause as to why you gambled in the first place. Because 90% of people can gamble responsibly and not have a problem. Why are you one of the 10% that can't? So we try to get back to root causes. We do a whole timeline of your life and everything else to kind of see where you're sitting at. But then once we do that, we do get into some, without getting too technical here, some cognitive behavioral therapy, some things like that, finding out what those triggers are, how to respond to them, just really trying to find some substitutes in your life for that. So yeah, it's pervasive. You're absolutely right. You can't necessarily avoid gambling or gambling talk, but it's just finding activities that are much more healthy for you.
Okay. The numbers to call again for Choices Treatment Center, the 24-hour helpline, 402-476-2300, the Nebraska Gambling Helpline, 1-833-238-6837, and the National Problem Gambling Helpline is 1-800-522-4700. Again, he is Mike Chandra from Choices Treatment Center. Mike, we appreciate your time. Anything else you want to add to us?
No, I think that's a big thing. Just don't, if there's something going on in your life or you don't feel like you're comfortable with it as far as the gambling goes, definitely reach out. We're here to help.
All right.
Mike, thank you so much.
Wonderful stuff. Mike Chandra of the Choices Treatment Center here in Lincoln. Thank you, Mike, and we will chat with you again down the road.
Great. Thank you.
You bet. Top of the hour next on Early Break in the Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
If you need to sell equipment and trucks, Ritchie Brothers' new Lincoln Satellite Yard lets you free up space at your property and get local access to all Ritchie Brothers auctions. Drop your equipment off and sell it online at any Ritchie Brothers auction, Iron Planet, or via Marketplace E. The yard is at 8801 US 6 Lincoln. It's secure and makes for easy in-person buyer inspections and pickup. Take advantage of this yard to sell at Ritchie Brothers' Great Plains Regional Auction, September 15th and 16th. For details, visit rbauction.com/Lincoln.
Hey, buying a used vehicle sucks, and the biggest problem is who can you trust? Hey, this is Carl from Price Right Auto out here at West O Street in Lincoln. Here's what customers have told us they want from us. They want transparent pricing with no games. We have all of our pricing on our website, plus a Carfax report. We don't want to buy a lemon. We include a 3-month warranty on all of our vehicles. We don't want to play games. Just make it simple. You saw that with non-commissioned salespeople. Can you trust us? Just check out our Google reviews. Again, this is Carl from Price Right Auto in West O. Check us out at pricerightauto.com.
Get an immediate look back at the game from the people who know it best. It's the Tanner's post-game show and the final word live from Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Hear from former players and national champions like Jay Foreman, Rashawn Jackson, and Aaron Davis and see what they saw in that day's game. It's the Tanner's post-game show and the final word. Live and in person, home or away at Tanner's Bar and Grill, brought to you by Bauer Infrastructure. Only here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com. Tractor Supply is looking for full-time team members for their Waverly Distribution Center. Applicants can expect a 3- and 4-day work week schedule with additional overtime days with both day and night shift schedules available. Stand-up forklift and high-reach forklift experience is a plus for open positions, but they're willing to train for those without experience. At Tractor Supply, they work hard, have fun, and make money. Apply today at tractorsupply.jobs. Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Join us on Friday from 2 to 6 on the rooftop at Barry's as we get you ready for Saturday's game on the block with Eric Strickland and Nate Brennan, followed by Old School with Jay Foreman and DP this Friday from 2 to 6 at Barry's on 9th and Q.
Keep your tailgate cool with the dazzling hot deal from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Get a free Yeti cooler with your purchase of only $1,500 or more. Take advantage of interest-free financing with no money down. Sartor Heyman has gorgeous jewelry in every price range, so buy her the diamonds she's been dreaming of and get instantly rewarded with a Yeti cooler for free. Offer ends soon, so hurry in and snatch up this cool jewelry deal. Sartor Heyman Jewelers, a Nebraska tradition since 1905.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
We stand on the shoulders of women who came before us.
Women who fought for their own financial futures.
And now it's our turn.
Join us. Visit WeSaySaveIt.org and take control of your financial future by saving for retirement.
A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Wake up, Lincoln.
Come on, it's 6 o'clock. Rise and shine, rise and shine.
It's time for Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Live from the Koppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
Did seem kind of meh.
And Steve Sipple.
Surprisingly good.
This is Early Break with Sip and Jake, sponsored by Gaina Trucking.
Welcome back to Hour 2 on a Tuesday. Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, Early Break. Fun show so far. You got the podcast at theticketfm.com. You can always call or text 464-5685. Watch and comment on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. The show is sponsored by Gaina Trucking. By the way, if you want to do us a favor, I never, ever plug this, but I remembered it today for some reason. If you have us on the podcast, on your Apple phone, just give us a rating there. Give us a comment, thoughts on the show. I never, ever plug that. So today, podcast, wherever you get them, you'll see the podcast, give us a rating, comment on it. If you're listening, if you don't listen to us live, then
Which forum do you do that on?
well, any format. There's a lot. You can listen on Spotify. You can listen on your Apple Podcasts is a thing too.
You can rate it on Apple, though.
You can rate it on
Can
Apple.
you rate it on Spotify?
I believe so. Yeah.
Nope. I asked you a question.
No,
You
I
don't
think
know.
you can rate on Spotify for sure on Apple. So give us a rating, give us a comment, tell your friends. We appreciate all you guys.
Show us some grace. too.
Yes, yeah. We need a lot of grace. A lot of mistakes.
You don't have nah.
Well, we have a lot of fun.
Was there? There's not. I don't think there's been any mistakes today.
That is something I cannot confirm or deny.
I'm telling you. I'd say if you listen to the first hour, you're not catching a mistake.
Our close textures, did we make any mistakes today? We didn't. We see the things we did not know the capital of Georgia. We didn't guess it though. We didn't guess the wrong country. We just didn't. We stayed
just
away.
raised the question.
We stayed away.
Yeah.
So we didn't get that wrong for wherever Tilla, BC, where Vegas Bobcats at right now.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I never got to the song ratings. We got pretty good ratings today on Michael McDonald. Up and down. Up and down.
I wish you'd sing it on the air.
I just about did right there. You see me? I thought I almost went into it, but
What song is it? What's it called?
I Keep Forgetting by Michael McDonald.
Mm-hmm.
You said I sang it pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
You said the words. You kind of sound like Michael McDonald.
Yeah,
Now,
when you
that's
do that,
a big compliment.
when you
right
do that
there.
one voice you have,
It's a falsetto. Yeah. I'm not doing it. I'm not scared to sing on the radio, but I'm not doing that one. It's a high one. I'll mess up. Not doing that.
Do you know the words?
Yeah. I
Like,
keep
what are the
forgetting
words?
We're not in love anymore. I
I
keep
keep
forgetting.
Go ahead.
Things will never be the same again. Dang.
You don't want to do it, do you?
No, I could do it though.
If you really,
Yeah.
really, if you really committed to it,
I'll be fine. It sounds
people would
good.
be great.
Yeah, they'd be actually impressed with it, I think. But I'm doing it though. Maybe tomorrow. Or on Friday.
I saw Lindsey Buckingham on a talk show. You know who Lindsey
Yes,
Buckingham is?
yes.
Who is he?
Fleetwood Mac.
Yes. And he had a guitar. It was just him in a talk show setting with a guitar. And for some reason, they were talking about the chain and how the song was written
Okay.
and like all of the members of Fleetwood Mac had a hand in writing that song. It was like collaborative, but then he sang it, and it was incredible to watch him sing it. And it was like a theatrical performance. He like went into it hard. Like, it's a very emotionally driven song, and he went into it. Like, it was amazing. He flipped into this like theatrical form of himself. And that's what you would have to do with Michael McDonald if you were really going to do it. But I don't expect you.
Yeah,
I don't expect you to be like, those performers are performers. Like, Lindsey Buckingham's a performer. And if he's going to do that, even in that setting, he's going to get into it.
Get into it.
Yeah. And he was singing it with a lot of passion and a lot of he was loud. It was amazing to watch, really. Do you know the song I'm talking about?
I know the chain. Yes. You will never break the chain. Yeah. Great song.
Yeah.
Great song. Before we get into my next topic, I've been seeing a lot of different texts and tweets about this.
Okay.
That I want your thoughts on. So right now, Wisconsin fans aren't very happy. The Badger fans are kind of pissed with their start. They got beat by Washington State on their home field, got blasted at Columbus. Don't love Paul Chryst right now. He can't get a quarterback there. Graham Mertz is just a guy. Teams are starting to stop the run because they know they can't pass the football. So they're 2-2. There's Wisconsin fans that don't want Paul Chryst to be the coach anymore. Now, let me ask you something here. If Wisconsin were, I don't expect this, by the way, this is a big if Wisconsin were to somehow fall apart this year and go 6-6 or 5-7, which again, I don't think is going to happen. They just don't do that. But if they do, is that a place that Lance Leipold might look at?
Yes.
The man had 6 championships in that state.
Yeah. He's from Janesville.
Would that be number 1 for him?
He's from Wisconsin. Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're, listen.
I'm just putting it out there.
Oh, no, it's fair.
There's a lot of
it's
people,
fair.
It's on social media. It's on the text line. It's out there.
Yeah. I don't think I don't know that we need to go down this road too far, because I'm with you. I don't think Wisconsin's going to fall apart to a level that would lead to Paul Chryst losing his job. But if
they're not happy right now, Wisconsin fans are not happy.
Yes, absolutely. Lance would fit at Wisconsin, and I would think he would be squarely on that AD's radar, squarely, because of what he did at Whitewater.
Yeah.
At Wisconsin Whitewater, Lance won 6 national titles. That was a big deal up there.
Of course it was. It should have been a big deal.
And he's a native. I mean, again, Janesville, Wisconsin guy. So yeah, that he'd be in play there. He is in play there. I guarantee you those fans know about Lance. Well, of course they know about Lance Leipold in Wisconsin.
They probably don't want Nebraska to hire him.
Probably.
They're probably concerned. They finally got it right, if that's the case. Well, they finally got a winner, a guy that can build culture and actually builds in the trenches.
Interesting way to look at it.
Right?
It's an interesting way to look at it.
Wisconsin fans don't want Nebraska to hire Lance Leipold.
As opposed to Barry Alvarez setting up Nebraska to fail or helping with that cause, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Barry would look at it and probably go, oh, God, they got Lance. I wouldn't be surprised if they looked at it that way.
I bet that's how they feel.
And if you're a Nebraska fan and you are a Lance fan, sell that. Sell that. Hey, there's a rival in our league that probably doesn't want us to have this guy, which is all the more reason we should want him. Right.
I bet you right now there's fans up in Wisconsin that are not surprised at what he's doing at Kansas.
You know what Lance represents to me, if you want to really get down to it? You know what he represents to me? And we just haven't had this in a long time. We didn't even have it during the Pelini years. You had winning during the Pelini years, but you know what you didn't have during the Pelini years? Stability. You never felt stable, right? Did it ever really feel stable with Bo? It was a roller coaster.
Early on, it did.
It was a roller coaster, though.
2008. I'd say the Big 12 days it did.
2008, 2009.
And 2010. When he got to the Big 10, it became unstable.
Yeah.
It wasn't prepared for the conference. Not his fault.
No, not his fault. Not his fault.
Recruited for the Big 12.
Right. Then got thrust into the Big 10.
That's when it got unstable, is when he went to the Big 10 conference.
Yeah. So that's 2010.
11, yeah.
Yeah, it was the summer of 2010 when it started to feel very unstable.
Okay.
2010.
Yeah, when he had a great first 3
years. 13 years ago.
I know.
And it has felt pretty unstable for 13 years. You know what Lance Leipold would bring? Stability. Very stable, very smooth, very just kind of nondescript in a good way, right?
Yes.
Aranda too, by the way. This place could use that at the helm. Stability, right? Bo was a roller coaster. Tell me it wasn't a roller coaster.
It was a roller coaster.
Oh my God. He wanted a high clip.
He did.
He wanted a high clip, but the
9+
losses
wins every year.
But the losses often were dramatic. Sometimes the wins were dramatic.
Yeah,
Northwestern.
Oftentimes they were.
Northwestern. Drama.
Yeah, the Hail Mary. Yeah.
Drama. Behind the scenes drama in that game. Do you remember Bo's reaction when they won that game?
Yeah.
The no reaction?
There was no reaction.
Too much drama.
I think he was just shocked by it all, though.
I think he was worn down.
I think combination of worn down and frankly shocked.
Knew his AD didn't want him there. Knew his AD didn't want him there. Knew there's stuff going on that day that indicated his AD didn't want him there. Wins the game, just worn out emotionally. That's just because of all the drama. With Lance and Trev, there wouldn't be drama. This place doesn't need it. This place does not need more drama. Some people like it. You've said that.
We've had enough. I've had enough drama.
Yeah. How about just a nondescript coach who's a football person that doesn't, there's no wild mood swings. Doesn't have personality quirks that are evident. His teams are going to be well coached. They're not going to be penalty prone. They're not, by the way, Kansas last year +2 in turnovers.
First year, 3-9 football team.
Yeah.
+2.
We could use that.
Do you think if Wisconsin made a move again, if hypothetically if they fall apart, they're 2-2 right now.
Yeah.
Fans aren't happy, and I understand that at Wisconsin, they expect to win the
What are you
division
worried
every
about
year. If Paul Chryst were to not be the coach next year, if something went,
come on,
just hypothetical, would Wisconsin fans prefer for the next coach? There's 3 options here, and I think they're all very viable options, and they're in this conversation too. Which one would they prefer? Lance Leipold, Dave Aranda, former coordinator there, former defensive coordinator at Wisconsin, or the current one, Jim Leonard?
Why would I don't think you hire Leonard because is he going to keep the same staff? What are we talking about then?
I think those are the 3 guys in the consideration for that job if it were to be open.
I think the conversation at Wisconsin would be similar to the one at Nebraska. I don't think Wisconsin could get Aranda.
Well, at least he did coach there.
Yeah.
He was a coordinator at Wisconsin, so he's got experience there. Whereas here, there's nothing at Nebraska. You just want him.
If you're a Nebraska fan,
no ties.
You don't want Wisconsin to fall apart. You don't want Wisconsin to fall apart because they could get one of the guys you want. I'm still convinced Aranda's going nowhere. I think you try him. I think you make him say no, but I think he's going to say no. If he doesn't say yes to USC and LSU and wouldn't listen to him, doesn't that give you some pause?
Yeah.
And Jake, when I say I talk to a source, I mean I talk to a source that knows. I don't think you're getting Aranda. I wrote about him today. I do think he's in the conversation. And I think he'd be great. But do I think you're getting him? No, I don't. To me, he's a little bit like Luke Fickell. Fickell, I never mentioned him because I don't think you're getting him. If Fickell, if somebody in the Fickell camp sent a smoke signal to Nebraska that said, go ahead, we'll listen, I'd be talking about Fickell all day, every day. I just don't think you're going to get him. I don't think you're going to get him. Aranda's basically like that to me. Lance, you can get.
Lance is attainable.
You can get Lance Leipold. He has background here. His wife is from Omaha. He liked it here.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying.
He's actually a coach who liked it here.
Exactly. It's a coach that would like to be here.
He liked it here.
Someone that wants to be here.
Wife from Omaha. Lance worked at UNO 2 separate stints. Liked it. Liked coaching in Omaha. like coaching on Frank's staff, like the place. You don't have to drag him here.
Experience and someone that appreciates in this place and is proud of this place.
Very proud of it. I mean,
that goes a long ways.
He doesn't, you know what? He never did.
He's not here for a check.
You know what Bo did a lot of, right? Complained about the place. On the record, off the record. A lot of complaints. Lance Leipold never complains about it. I mean, never. Just, I think he sees it glass half full. Yeah, it's a fishbowl, and it can be tough that way, right? It can be tough that way. I have a quote from if I can find it here fast.
Okay.
From from Adrian. Here it is. I have a quote from Adrian and a quote from his dad.
Adrian's dad?
Yeah. Tony Martinez. It was in the August 22. It was August 22 of this year in The Athletic. This is a quote about being a quarterback at Nebraska, but it also applies to being a head coach at Nebraska.
Okay.
This is what Tony said. Nebraska is a double-edged sword, right? It's such an awesome place to be and play, but you're under a magnifying glass in respect to your play, who you are, where you're going, what you're doing. And I think that can be overwhelming.
Sure.
Now, substitute, it's such an awesome place to be and coach, but you're under a magnifying glass in respect to your coaching, who you are, where you're going, what you're doing. And I think that can be overwhelming. Just substitute player for coach. Adrian said, being the guy at Nebraska, there's a lot that comes with it. He's talking about being the quarterback. And he said it's not for everyone. This place is not for everyone as a head coach. I don't think it was for Pelini or Frost. That fishbowl did not like it.
So then let me ask you, why is it different for Lance then?
Because I think he can handle it.
He
maturity.
He knows about it. He's aware of it. You're not surprising him with this place.
No.
He understands the job.
No surprise. He worked for Frank.
He gets it.
No, he totally gets it. I think that element of Nebraska wore out of all the coaches since Osborne. I thought that part of it, the fishbowl, the intense scrutiny, that round the clock, you can't go to Walmart or Walgreens. You can't. I think that wore on Frost and Bo more than it wore on Riley, Bill, or Frank. I think Frank was kind of ready for it. And Frank can kind of keep a low profile. Bo had trouble with it. Bo told me a story about once he was at a pizza place and a guy asked him for his autograph when he was sitting with his family and had a full mouth of food. Full mouth of food. He's in mid-chew. And that sort of bothered him. You know? Mm-hmm. Frost, you study, you know people well enough. Frost was not very private. He's very private.
God,
and what did he do? What did he do in his first meeting with the media? That
keep my wife and kids out of this.
Keep my wife and kids out of this. He drew a line in the sand on day one.
Yep.
No, Lance is a little more easygoing, is a way to put it. Easygoing. And understands. And he's 58. He's mature. He's mature.
But this is wild. Wet Blanket chimes in.
Okay.
He says, what is going on today? I actually agree with Sip.
Whoa.
Frost and Pelini were not wired for the scrutiny here.
No, they weren't. Okay. But and now there's a maturity issue. Think about it though. Jake, think about the age factor. Bo was what, 42 when he took this job?
I think that sounds right. Yeah. Young 40s.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
Yeah, young 40s. Frost, young 40s. They were younger guys. Lance is 58 years old.
He's a seasoned vet.
Yeah. And he has that way about him too. He's kind of cynical, but he can laugh at stuff where Bo and Scott had a hard time just laughing off stuff, but Lance can laugh it off a little bit, you know.
From the text line before we get to break here and Robin wash it. Jared in Wisconsin.
Jared
lives in Wisconsin. We talked to Wisconsin job. He's a Husker fan in Wisconsin. He says, most of my buddies here in Wisconsin want Nebraska to hire Brett Bielema so they can hire Lance at Wisconsin.
Bielema doesn't even come up much.
We brought up that name here on the show.
Doesn't come
on
up
the
much.
show we have.
Doesn't come up much.
We brought up at the conference, Bielema and Schiano, and I guess maybe PJ Fleck, maybe, but mostly Bielema and Schiano are the two likely ones from the conference.
Either one would be good with me.
Yeah, I agree with that. But yeah, the Wisconsin friends of Jared, the Nebraska fan in Wisconsin, want Nebraska to hire Bielema so Wisconsin can get Lance Leipold.
Six national titles at Whitewater are significant to that state. Okay. And I watched those games when they were beating Mount Union, and it was a big deal for Whitewater. I mean, that was not a small story in Wisconsin.
I'm sure it wasn't.
6 national title
It's
rings.
incredible.
Yeah.
It's well done. Robin Washington is next on Early Break in the Ticket.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Lincoln loves local business. What better way to support local than to drink local? Don't miss Lincoln Craft Beer Week beginning September 26th and continuing through October 2nd. You can't go wrong with 14 different local breweries, cideries, distilleries, and more putting on events to get you familiar with Lincoln's craft beverage scene. For more details on participating venues and Lincoln Craft Beer Week, visit lincoln.org/beer tour. Brought to you by the Lincoln Convention and Visitors Bureau. Remember to enjoy responsibly.
Keep your tailgate cool with the dazzling hot deal from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Get a free Yeti cooler with your purchase of only $1,500 or more. Take advantage of interest-free financing with no money down. Sartor Heyman has gorgeous jewelry in every price range, so buy her the diamonds she's been dreaming of and get instantly rewarded with a Yeti cooler for free. Offer ends soon, so hurry in and snatch up this cool jewelry deal. Sartor Heyman Jewelers, a Nebraska tradition since 1905.
Hopcat exists at the intersection of great beer and delicious food, complemented by music, art, community, and comfort. Home to a best-in-class beer experience served by craft beer experts, guests can expect a casual, inviting local gathering place with some of the best damn burgers and fries you'll find in Lincoln. There is no better place to watch any Nebraska game other than the 50-yard line at Memorial Stadium. Hopcat is located at 6th and P in the Haymarket. To plan your next trip to Hopcat, visit www.hopcat.com.
From selling a home to even building one, you're doing a lot and need a lender who can help you do it. Like Lisa Workman of Security First Bank.
Mortgage lending is my true passion. As a director of mortgage lending, I work to ensure you receive exceptional customer service.
Mortgage lending from Security First Bank. We're the bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. NMLS 505011 and 616196.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Join us on Friday from 2 to 6 on the rooftop at Barry's as we get you ready for Saturday's game on the block with Eric Strickland and Nate Brennan, followed by Old School with Jay Foreman and DP this Friday from 2 to 6 at Barry's on 9th and Q.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit. SCC's Career Days will provide you with hands-on experience as you learn alongside SCC faculty and students and our industry partners. This provides you with a first-hand look at career opportunities in construction, agriculture, automotive, manufacturing and engineering, transportation, and healthcare. Learn more about SCC Career Days at southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit OakStreetCarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor at Just Days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
Oak Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
We're on the air. Back
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
to more of Early Break with Sip and Jake.
Simple, you are an idiot.
Brought to you by Gaina Trucking. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we know it was a rough night for Robin last night as he watched his Giants lose to the Cowboys. So we appreciate him joining us this morning. Robin Washington, Husker Online. We'll move past that game, Robin, because I know you don't want to talk about that and the loss. But
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm kind. I watch after people here. I'm curious. So let's go this past weekend. Nebraska did not play football this past weekend. Thankfully, they couldn't lose a game. I'm just saying. God, Robin, who impressed you most during this Husker bye weekend of coaches that might be on the radar for Nebraska?
Oh boy. Well, I think I'll start with the obvious. Obviously, Lance Leipold continues to push his way up the mix every week with the job that he's doing at Kansas, and then Dave Aranda beating Matt Campbell head-to-head straight up. I think that was one game that had a lot of Nebraska fans' attention. I don't know. I know that people keep wanting to talk about PJ Fleck, and the job that he's done at Minnesota has been phenomenal, and the record speaks for itself. But I don't know. I don't know how realistic that is, but I know that generated a lot of conversation this weekend. So, I'd say that probably those are, as far as the names on Nebraska's coaching radar, probably jumped out the most.
Were your kids in bed Saturday night in the fourth quarter of Kansas State, Oklahoma? And was there anything in that game that caught your eye?
Well, obviously, I didn't get a chance to watch much of it,
Okay.
but definitely followed along and looked back on it. And yeah, I mean, it's hard not to look at that game, especially because of the Adrian connection and the performance that he had, and then the mutual opponent with Oklahoma,
Mhm.
seeing what Kansas State was able to do that Nebraska clearly was not. It just shows where Nebraska is as a program right now. Those are the types of games where you want to compare scores. How was Kansas State able to go down to Norman and have that type of performance where Nebraska wasn't even remotely competitive for more than 5 minutes? And then obviously the Northwestern scores are another one that you look at where they continue to sputter and look like one of the worst teams in the conference, and yet they beat Nebraska head to head. So those are the types of games that, from a Nebraska perspective, kind of throw a little more salt into the wound that, maybe these teams that Nebraska's lost to aren't all that great, but yet Nebraska made them look like college football playoff contenders in some cases.
Robin, you're an astute football observer. You are. You know football very well. You went to Ireland. You're sitting in Aviva Stadium. We're close, sitting nearby each other. When you watched that game, did it ever dawn on you that, man, Northwestern's terrible?
No, I would never would have used the word terrible. In fact, I think I was more having discussions of maybe they're better than people think they are. You know, they came in as people say they might be the worst team in the conference, but you know, they were running the football effectively. They were playing pretty good defense. Your quarterback play with Helinski was far better than anyone would have expected. So I mean, I think there was not a lot to like, but there was more to like about, you know, what that team might be, which clearly, you know, less than a week or two later, showed to be, you know, a lot of false hope for them. And Nebraska probably made them look a lot better than they actually were.
This defense has made Helinski look like you know, Hall of Famer. Kyle Van Treese, the same thing. So I'm curious, Robin. You know, Nebraska had a bye week. Bill Bush is now the defensive coordinator. Can he work a miracle with this defense? What can he do to make them better?
Yeah, I'm not anticipating a dramatic change at all, but I think that what you can see is incremental progress to where a lot of just the fundamental things that are going on with this defense. You know, Mickey touched on it in his press conference last week. Just, I mean, getting guys to know what they're doing and line up right and be in the right positions before the snap and, you know, understand what their assignment is from play to play. And then with this kind of renewed emphasis on live tackling in practice, maybe that will help with all the open field tackling issues that are turning, you know, 2 and 3 yard runs into 8 to 10 yard runs. So, I mean, I think those are the types of things that you can actually have a chance to improve at this point in the season, given this set of circumstances. And, you know, they can try some other things too. I think they can be far more aggressive in coverage, you know, not play 6 or 7 yards off the ball on every snap and just have teams have whatever they want on the underneath routes. I think that maybe you can get a little bit more creative with your blitzes, get more guys involved with that to try to generate more of a pass rush. From a personnel standpoint, you know, maybe you're looking in the secondary at some potential shakeups, just because that's the position group where they've probably rotated the least this season. But up front of the defensive line, at linebacker, you know, and nickel, they've kind of played everybody that they can play. So I don't know what they can do much from a depth chart standpoint outside of maybe mixing some things up at safety and corner. But I think the biggest changes, you know, it's not going to be a flip of the switch over the course of a bye week, but I think as the season goes on, those types of just little basic fundamental things can gradually improve. And then if those things start to improve, then all of a sudden you start playing better defense overall.
Robin Washut of HuskerOnline.com joins us. Robin, it's at 7:38 on Tuesday morning. How much is the sellout streak on your mind?
Not much. You know, I mean, it is to an extent because people ask about it and people are interested about it. I view it differently than some people. You know, I think we had our chat yesterday, and I made this point where, you know, I understand what the sellout streak means to this program. It's kind of the last link to past, the one record that still stands. And so in that regard, people want to keep it going. But, you know, I just kind of view it as kind of a technicality. The fact that tickets are sold means it's a sellout, even though stadiums haven't been full. People haven't been, you know, actually going to the games to sell the stadium out. And so, you know, it depends on what your term of a sellout is. You know, I guess if you want to go from the literal sense, is every ticket sold? Then yes, the streak's still alive. But if you want to go from the sense of there being a capacity stadium at every single game, that thing ended a long time ago. Yeah. And so, you know, for me, it doesn't carry as much weight as just because I kind of define sellouts maybe in a different sense than just having the tickets sold. So, you know, for me, if they say it ends, then it's not going to be the end of the world for me. But I also do understand the importance it has to a lot of people and a lot of fans around here, just because it's that one last link to Nebraska's glory years.
Robin, regarding the upcoming game against Indiana at 6:30 this Saturday, as of earlier this week and as of right now, Nebraska is viewed as a favorite in this game in Vegas, 3.5 point favorite. Indiana's 3-1 with the loss to Cincinnati last week. Nebraska's 1-3 with the losses they've had. Is there any reason you believe that Nebraska should be favored? Why would that be the case this weekend? Do you think they should win this game?
Well, they're at home. They're coming off a bye week, and Indiana's defense is. If it weren't for Nebraska, Indiana would have the worst defense in the Big Ten. They've been getting absolutely torched, and so that bodes well for Nebraska to be able to potentially win a shootout. So I think that those are some of the main factors of where that line is. But then, I also look at Vegas knows what they're doing. They're trying to get people to bet Nebraska so they can make some money. And so I think a lot of times you see those lines open up early in the week, and then come Thursday, Friday, Saturday morning, maybe you'll start to see some pretty significant shifts when the sharps come in. So and I take it for what it is. I think Vegas obviously has reasoning to make Nebraska a favorite just because of those three main factors, but I'll be interested to see how that line moves over the next few days.
What do Rob in Washington joins us from HuskerOnline.com. Rob, what do you anticipate as far as the offense, how it looks on Saturday, how much differently it might look given what Mickey has said about tempo?
Yeah, so that's kind of the interesting thing here is obviously they didn't do themselves any favors against Oklahoma by trying to go, play for play with the Sooners and didn't slow things down and ended up letting that game get out of hand very quickly. But conversely, now you're going ahead to Indiana, where, like I said, they've been kind of a Swiss cheese defense to where, if there was ever an opportunity to be on the attack for the rest of the season, this would be it.
Yeah.
So, there's a fine line, I think, where you just kind of got to gauge your tempo by, how the game goes. And if you're having a lot of success and you're moving the football with ease and Casey's dealing and guys are getting open and running the ball effectively, obviously you don't want to take your foot off the gas pedal and go into a shell. You want to stay on the attack and put points on the board. But if things aren't working and your defense is struggling, then you got to protect your defense and you got to get the game under control. So it's going to be one of those deals where I think they got to let the first couple series, maybe first 2 or 3 series, play out and just get a feel for how things are going, and then decide whether to pull back the reins and slow things down and shorten the game, or dial it up because Indiana can't stop them.
Robin Washington joins us. Speaking of getting a feel for how things are going, Fred Hoiberg will be available to the media corps today. And we're trying to get a feel for how things are going in Fred's program. Do you have any couple questions for Fred that stand out in your mind?
Well, they obviously, there's just a lot of new pieces that didn't really get to practice much together. They have really one true point guard on their roster, and he didn't do anything with them all summer, Sam Griesel, because he's coming off that hip surgery. So how is that piece factoring into the equation? And then we still don't know what their primary scoring options are going to be. Has any of that started to take shape over the course of summer workouts? And then I look at also just how much of a difference their revamped front court has made to their style of play. There's been a lot of comments made about the impact of guys like Blaise Keita and Juwan Gary paired with Derek Walker that has Nebraska's front court as maybe as Big Ten ready as it's been since Fred has been here, and how much is that going to maybe influence the way they play on both ends of the floor? I think that there's just the personnel is maybe the most pressing questions right now, just because of how different it is compared to previous seasons that Fred's had here.
Robin, always good stuff. Thanks for the time. We will chat with you again next week.
All right. Sounds good.
Good job, Rob.
Robin Washington, Husker Online.
You going to be listening to Fred today?
I'll tune in for that.
A lot of questions.
Yeah, as Robin said there, I want to have optimism for that program because I'm sick of having glass half empty But they just haven't been very good at all. They've been hard to watch. It's not just not good. It's hard to watch a lot. So I hope Blaise Cata is as good as people think he could be. I hope Jawan Gary comes in and makes an impact. That Derek Walker makes it, even gets even better than he has been the last couple of years. I mean, there's a path to them being respectable. Can they find that path? Is the question I ask. Right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know what to make of it. I mean, I know Fred's 9-50 in the Big Ten. He's 9-50.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
9-50.
Yeah.
So bad.
And Robin, I saw Robin on our chat yesterday. He's predicting 10 wins this year. 10 wins overall.
Total. Yeah. Not just conference, total wins.
That won't get Fred back.
No. Well, no. I think Trev will be busy.
Again.
I root for his success. I know
you
Fred's
do.
very likable. I love Fred Hoiberg. He just got to win. Results matter.
Yeah.
You got to win.
Yeah. There's nothing.
Like, I would love him to have this great success story where they rise from the ashes and they're good, but I just don't see it. Hope I'm wrong. By the way, from Corey and Lincoln, I'm not sure what he uses for his service here, but what he has, the Nebraska line against Indiana has gone up to 6.5 point favorites for Nebraska.
Indiana lost a key receiver. I don't know. Maybe that has something
Wasn't
to do
Cam
with
Camper
it.
though.
No, that's
Don't
curious
get it.
to me. Well, that's
you
a lot.
can try to explain it all you want. I don't get it. Makes no sense. A 1-3 football team that has one win against North Dakota should not be favored against a Big Ten team. You can do that once you win a game. Go prove it. Then maybe against Rutgers, you're a favorite. Maybe. But not yet.
Favored on the road.
I said maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Let's play the game show. Give us a call right now at 464-5685. Your chance to win a business box of bagels to Bagels and Joe. We did NFL kickers yesterday, and you lost. Low-scoring game, but you lost. Today, we're back to the NFL again. And you've done this. You quizzed me a couple years ago on this. I'm bringing it right back to you because things have changed. NFL backup quarterbacks.
Okay.
What teams are these quarterbacks the backups for?
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
That fair?
Yes.
Let's have some fun. 464-5685. Shut Up Simple starts right now.
We've all been there. You're listening to the radio, and then that rage starts to grow inside of you. It starts to consume you. It gets to a point where you just want to yell, "Shut up, Sipple!" No, sorry. I'm sorry. Well, here's your chance. It's time to shut up, Sipple. Call now to play. 464-5685. Shut up, Sipple. Brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
All right, 464-5685. Call the Takedown Sip and Trivia. You lost yesterday, but you're still 16-4 since the reset. So a lot of padding there for you.
Okay.
Just making sure. Lock in.
I'm having some voice problems. Have you noticed that?
Well, your allergies are coming up today,
Yeah.
it looks like. You okay?
Just fine.
Okay. Rogan, how do you feel about NFL backup quarterbacks today?
Pretty good.
Okay, Rogan. Thanks for calling in. We appreciate it.
All right. First question goes to you, Rogan. Here we go. What NFL team is Desmond Ridder the backup quarterback for?
The Falcons.
Falcons is correct. He might be starting at some point this season. Marcus Mariota, the current starter in Atlanta.
Why you say that?
Because Mariota's not the future. He's damaged. He's old. He's old news. 1-0 lead for Rogan. To tie it up, Sip, first question. What NFL team is Malik Willis the backup quarterback for? The former Liberty Flame.
Liberty Flame. Oh. I have a good.
Okay, we got 5 seconds to guess. Starting now. 5,
Ah.
4.
Plays for a
3.
team with the best running back in football, Tennessee.
The Titans is correct. He got some playing time against the Bills before they lost to the Dolphins next week. All right, 1-1 tie. Rogan for the lead. Your last question. What NFL team is Case Keenum the backup quarterback for?
The Bills.
Buffalo Bills is correct.
That was the Patriots.
Well, you were wrong. All right, Sip for the tie. Force the tiebreaker. Your last question. What NFL team is Gardner Minshew the backup quarterback for?
God, that's a. I need this, don't I?
You need it. Down 2-1. This is to force the tiebreaker. To not start the week off 0-2.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Is he on Eagles? Yes, he is. How about that? Now, this goes to Rogan because it was you last time in the tiebreaker. So, Rogan, your number. Sip will go over, under your number. All right. Rogan, how many touchdowns has Gardner Minshew thrown in his 3 NFL seasons? This is his 4th. So, it's before this. His 3 full seasons before this.
I'll go 37.
Sip. 37 is the number. Are you going over or under that for Gardner Minshew's NFL
37?
Yep.
Got to be under. Got to be under. No.
How about 41? 41 touchdowns with the Jaguars. You had a couple last year for the Eagles, too, but mostly with Jacksonville. Nice guess, Rogan. Good game. We'll get you Bagels. Thanks for calling in and calling down the road.
Have a good one, guys.
There he goes. Hey, all
That
questions
hurts.
were correct. It was
That
close to
hurts.
the tiebreakers. Well played.
That hurts.
Well done, everyone.
That really hurts.
I'm going to say this. If I was asked this question about Gardner Minshew and the number was 37, I would have also said under. When I researched it, I was surprised. And, he's only got 12 picks. Like, he's got 41 touchdowns and
That's pretty
12
good.
picks. He's got good numbers.
That's good numbers. Darn it.
But I'm just giving you, I would have gone under
I don't-
myself with that.
I don't
guess.
like this 0-2 thing.
Yeah, you're not used to it, are you?
0-2. That puts some pressure on Wednesday.
Yeah, it does.
Some heat.
Well-
Wild card Wednesday.
Yeah, tomorrow's. I have not made it yet. So
How about Husker hometown?
no, that's not wild card.
What do you mean it's not wild?
If you've
card?
lost 8 straight games, we'll do Husker hometowns. Yeah, not for 2 straight losses. You're still up on the season, 16-5.
That's pretty wild cardy though.
It's not that wild cardy. That deserves a Monday or Tuesday topic.
I gotta get my voice back.
It's okay. Have some tea, chug some coffee,
I've been chugging.
have a
coffee.
Slurpee.
I haven't had a Slurpee in years.
Well, it's time to break one out there.
Do they still have them?
Yeah, that's a good question. Who has Slurpees? There's no 7-Elevens in this town. Like, does an Easy Go have a Slurpee? Does
I think
does
they do. I think
Casey's have a Slurpee?
Yeah, I think they have the equivalent of
a
a
slushie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty sure.
never
they
had
have
one
it.
before.
I'm out on it.
I've never had a Slurpee ever.
I
in my
don't
lifetime.
desire it.
That makes me a bad person. Then sue me. I've never had a Slurpee though. I've never
Really?
wanted.
Never
it. I don't
had
think I
one?
have.
I used to get those cherry Slurpees back in the day when I was a
Yeah,
kid.
that it doesn't. It does nothing for me. Like, I don't look at a Slurpee and say I need to have that.
In the summer when it's 101, Slurpee tasted
Well,
pretty
think
good.
about me. You know, like a Slurpee is a similar look to a margarita, right? Sometimes.
Yeah.
And
A blended
I hate,
margarita.
And I hate margaritas. I hate tequila. I don't like it. They're nasty. I hate it. I know it breaks your heart, but I
don't
hate
even- yeah,
margaritas.
I don't even know what to say right now. What are you talking about? Margaritas are nasty.
I don't like tequila. I don't like margaritas. It's a personal thing.
Huh.
I've tried many of them, different restaurants, different people's recipes. Tried them. It's the tequila. I hate tequila. Hate it.
Put
I
some
hate-
mezcal in there.
I hate tequila.
Smoky margarita.
I'll
Very
try a
good.
smoky one.
Yeah,
But I just
you should.
Something's not right about the flavor of a margarita for me. I can't do it.
Interesting.
No, don't like it.
Hmm.
It's my it's my own personal thing.
That's okay. Took an L, 16-5. Wanted that one bad. Thought I had it.
That's a good guess by Rogan on the tiebreaker.
Yeah, Rogan did a good job. Rogan was
I was impressed you got both your questions. Titans and Eagles were well done.
fly, Eagles fly. Rogan is formidable on the NFL. He was dialed in.
So were you.
Yeah. Wouldn't have got Case Keenum, though.
Not the Patriots. Right division, wrong team. Spillovers next on early break in the ticket.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben sandwich or the Prime Rib French dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit. SCC's Career Days will provide you with hands-on experience as you learn alongside SCC faculty and students and our industry partners. This provides you with a first-hand look at career opportunities in construction, agriculture, automotive, manufacturing and engineering, transportation, and healthcare. Learn more about SCC Career Days at southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
Hey guys, Nick Sainert here, and I want to tell you about my friends at Spine and Sports Chiropractic. I experienced a herniated disc in my lower back a few years ago, and thanks to the folks at Spine and Sports, I got back to feeling 100%. At Spine and Sports, they use the active release technique, which involves the soft tissue and can alleviate headaches, shoulder pain, plantar fasciitis, and more. What I like most about the ART method is that your doctor will construct a plan that fits your needs because the technique is not a cookie-cutter approach. Allow Spine and Sports Chiropractic to help you feel better. Set up your appointment today by giving them a call at 402-261-6841. The dog days of summer are here. Is your yard in need of a touch-up as we head into the fall season? August, September, and October are the months for aeration, and Penner Sprinkler and Lawn is the place to call to get the job done right. If you're noticing any issues with your sprinkler system through the hot summer months, they're always a call away, and they're already scheduling installs for sprinkler systems for next year and all other lawn care needs. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
They might win, they might lose, but either way, you have something to say about it. Don't miss the Husker After Party postgame show immediately following every Nebraska football game. Nick Sainert and Jake Bachhoven give instant reaction, quotes from the players and coaches, and take all your phone calls with thoughts on the game. It's the Husker After Party postgame show, only on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sponsored by Action Plumbing and Heating, Gary Michaels Quilt Years, and Brent Excavating.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew live from Tipsy Tina's in the Haymarket as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Brought to you by A1 Automotive, Mullen Motors, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Bauer Underground, Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group, and Ritchie Brothers.
How's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy, classic wings. Made to order, cooked to perfection. And sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. And, of course, spicy Cajun fried corn. I think you've heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at wingstop.com.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This.
Well, good morning, little brother.
Is Early Break with Sip and Jake. Weekday mornings from 6 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is time for the spillover. No Raph today. He'll be on the drive, though, via StreamYard after this. But AD is back in the house. He was in St. Louis yesterday. He'll be gone tomorrow. But he's here today, baby. Good to have you, AD.
Yeah, welcome.
It's good to be back, man.
Nice to see you.
Good to be back.
Yeah.
Good to be back.
Good to have you back. So you were in St. Louis yesterday.
I will. And Raph will not be on the stream today.
Okay.
I will be here tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay.
Come on,
let's
Jake.
get all. I thought you said DC.
I
Let's
will-
fix this all up.
I
here.
will
I'm
be on the
sorry.
spillover tomorrow.
Okay.
But then I'll duck out about 9:30 because my flight's at 11:30.
Okay.
And I will broadcast from DC on what is today? Tuesday, right?
Yes, today's Tuesday.
I will broadcast from DC on Thursday
Okay.
morning, but I will be gone Friday.
Okay.
Because I'll be in the air
I
Friday.
messed it all up, but I'm glad AD could clear that for us. However, you were gone yesterday, but you get to speak a lot. You do a lot of public speaking across the country.
Mhm.
You meet a lot of people,
Lot
and
of
you were telling us during the break about some Michigan State fans that you spoke to or you saw
man.
yesterday.
It was
And what's their current thoughts on Mel Tucker?
fellas, it was always fun. It's never like, just mean bantering. It's always fun gestures back and forth. There's a lot of Big Ten schools there. They're in St. Louis. So you had literally every Big Ten school represented for the most part. A lot of Illinois people too. But Michigan State, man, they feel buyer's remorse right now for Mel Tucker, man.
Wow. Already.
One guy who's part of their business college just vehemently said, he goes, man, we feel we got sold a bag of rocks.
Isn't that pretty quick?
It seems quick
It's
to me.
crazy quick. It's second
quick.
year.
It's quick.
People, but you know what?
Third year.
Third year. It's third year.
Third
Exactly. Third year. And they went to 10-2 last year?
11.
11-2 last
They
year.
won 11.
Yeah.
Yes. But you figure their past two games, they got smoked at Washington.
Yep.
They got smoked against. I didn't see the Minnesota smoke.
Oh, they got smoked.
Sip, did you see that one
How
coming?
about no? I know. Well, no.
We thought it'd be a closer. We
No.
thought Minnesota would win,
No.
didn't we?
No, I thought Minnesota would win, but I didn't think they would smoke them.
Not a rout.
Minnesota had 169 yards in the first quarter. Michigan State had 1 yard on 6 plays.
Yeah.
1 yard.
On 6 plays.
See, I didn't see those stats.
Yeah, Minnesota smoked them.
Oh, it was a
Okay,
rout
but
start
it's
to finish.
still it seems very early for buyer's remorse to me.
It seems early for me. Jake, did you see Michigan State losing that bad against the past 2 weeks?
No, I thought they could lose to Washington, and I thought they might lose to Minnesota. I didn't see the way both those games happen occurring. I mean,
Fully
the
dominated.
score looked closer for the Washington game, and they were down by 20 points in that game.
Yeah.
And then Minnesota, they were never in the game.
Never.
We thought they might lose, but not like that. Maybe by 7 or 10 points. Not a butt kicking from start to finish.
What was the final? What was that final?
34-7.
And the 7 was like the last minute. Like
Yeah.
It should have been a shutout. Should have been a shutout.
I think the last time I looked at that score before the end of it, when I seen the box scores, it was 21 donut. I'm thinking, I didn't see this coming. I didn't see
That was it. That was in Sparty. That was in East Lansing.
at home, and they are barking. And I was asking the gentleman, and there was a gentleman, 2 of the gals there with them, and they just said, they just feel there's buyers. The one gal was more lenient. She goes, you know what? Regardless, she goes, I think it's too early. She goes, besides that 95 million is fully guaranteed.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's what you said.
He gets it all.
He gets all that money. So
Right.
you better ride that one out.
Yep.
At least for another 2 years, because if not, you're chunking out a ton of money. And first of all, I think Michigan State was premature with a contract that big after only 2 years.
Mhm.
Let's see some body of work, because let's look at this. It wasn't like he was doing. I mean, I don't have no feelings either war for Mel Tucker. Like I said, hope it works out for him. I do got a good buddy that's on that staff, so I do want it to work out because those are families that are involved,
Sure.
etc. So I do understand that. But you think about it, Colorado. Was he really that impressive at Colorado?
5-7 is only year there.
Yeah.
5-7.
So does that to me, does that really say that, okay, after 2 years here, we're going to give you dang near $100 million?
Michigan State,
They got excited.
LSU was in the picture at one point.
Yep.
That drove the conversation.
Mhm.
That Michigan State was worried about losing them. That's what it was.
Yeah,
Now
they
here's the
gave them a
deal.
raise, yep.
There's a couple of things in this conversation. Tucker's gone heavy portal. He hasn't built it very well because it's been very portal oriented. The other thing is their offensive line is really struggling.
They are.
And okay, so Mel Tucker wants to have a good running back with a strong running game and play good defense. He can't do it right now.
Which he had last year.
He did. Had Walker.
He had Walker last year, which it worked for him last
Absolutely.
year.
Right.
However, to your point, though, Sip, and this is something that me and Nick are going to talk about. Actually, we got Jay Foreman coming in and filling in for Raph in the next hour. That is a big issue that's hurt Nebraska. The numbers that the number 56 of our transfers, 56. We had 56 people that transfer out of here. That is huge.
Big number.
You can't build a culture with that many people leaving. And not only that, a lot of these guys are the ones you recruited
Yeah.
who left.
Mhm.
And some of them after only 1 year.
Mhm.
So you bring this back to Sparty, Michigan State. I think that they're going to struggle the rest of this year because I was looking at this on the
Oh
way in.
God, yes.
They're going to struggle
Yeah,
the rest,
with their
rest of the
schedule.
way. Here's their schedule. So Michigan State, okay, they obviously that Western Michigan game was 35-13. That was not indicative of that game though, because they kind of scored some touchdowns late in that game. They beat Akron 52-0. Of course, they lost to Washington 39-28, 34-7 at home to Minnesota. They got Maryland this weekend.
At Maryland.
And Maryland was slugging it out with Ohio State for Michigan
Yep.
this weekend. So they got Maryland
At Maryland.
At Maryland. Now
Loss.
check this out.
Loss.
Ohio State.
Loss.
Wisconsin.
Toss up.
At Michigan.
Loss.
At Illinois.
Toss
Probably
up.
win that one, but yeah, toss up.
Rutgers.
Probably win.
Indiana.
Win.
Probably win.
At Penn State.
There's three more wins.
Yeah,
That's
they're,
it.
they're probably going 5-7.
Right.
That's it.
That's no bowl game.
So that record matches what he left Colorado with.
Yeah.
When you think about it. So if he does not pull a shocker out of one of these, those I think those fans
But
get a lot louder.
Listen,
the
you
thing
can't
is
pull a
this,
shocker when you're deficient up front like that.
Yeah.
They're very deficient up front.
They are.
However, you can't take away last year from him. He still went 11-2 last season.
He did.
He did a great.
But we have short memories.
Obviously.
Oh, we do.
When you got people at a conference saying, man, we got buyer's remorse, we bought a box of rocks. I'm thinking, you guys, he went 11-2 last year. Well, yeah, we got blown out this weekend. No,
Well,
I mean, it's just
some
forget
of
about
that,
it.
though,
Kill for
some of
11-2 right now.
Yeah, we love it.
Some of that is, I thought Jake was like this. I was kind of like this. I thought that 10-year, $95 million contract was sort of a bad look.
It was very bad.
Like-
and then what happens that next week?
They got blasted
Remember,
by
he
Ohio
got,
State,
remember
right?
he got killed
That's
the next
right.
week.
By Ohio State, I think they got
Yes.
murdered by them.
Absolutely killed.
I don't know how to exactly verbalize why it was a bad look. It just seemed like, well, I guess the best way to put it just seemed like a lot too fast.
Well,
Yeah.
like-
Too much too fast.
Well, like you
agree.
said, Sip, that it's all guaranteed. But
Yes.
we've never
It's
seen that.
kind of a
before.
weird contract.
weird.
Yeah.
His agent, whoever that person may be, was very smart. I wouldn't say just crafty, to get guaranteed $95 million. So if you think about this, though, the next school is looking like, well, we don't have to take any of that money. Now, he's going to almost like it'll offset that if he gets another job somewhere. Now, obviously, we're talking just very,
Yeah.
very pre right now.
If he were to get fired,
If he
at
were to
some
get
point in
fired.
the near future.
Yeah, if he were to get fired, the other school, obviously some of that will probably get, I'm sure, knocked off of that. However, though, Michigan State, I mean, they are owed that man a lot of money still. They owe that guy a lot of money.
95 mil
It's a
guaranteed.
very interesting dynamic.
95
It's a
million.
nice life to have there.
Yes,
Tucker.
he's set. He's like, fire me.
What's
then.
his motivation? I'm good.
Well, there you go. Now that
You gave him guaranteed
I
money.
mean, we're all human beings here. That I don't think that's a small part of the conversation.
No, I don't think it is either.
It is, and
That's
it's
a
not.
huge part.
I think it can
You just
be.
gave
Now,
this man financial
it-
freedom for life.
it always
is year 3,
depends.
right?
Yeah, it always depends who you're talking about. If you're talking about Nick Saban, we've said this on the
Yeah.
radio. If you're talking about
Right.
Nick Saban, money doesn't matter. If you're
He's
talking about
just
John Cook, money doesn't matter.
driven
Right.
by wins.
They're gonna
Win.
try. They're gonna try to win all the
Results.
time. But
Yes.
there's some people that they get that money and their sort of outlook on life changes a little bit.
Yeah.
You might be more apt to go hit balls on the range instead of dig in the office.
Because you're set.
You know, yeah.
If they fire him after this year, it's year 3. Okay, they've already paid
They're
him.
not going to.
They're not going to. They're going to owe him over $65 million. Think about that.
to not be there.
Think about that for a second. I mean, think about the gravity of that number.
He's like, all right.
It's like, fire me. You're going to owe that man close to 65 mil, actually probably over $65 million. So you think about that type of money. To your point, Sip and Jake, I don't know what Michigan, I think they pulled the trigger. I know they pulled the trigger too fast because they're worried about LSU, somebody else swooping him up. But do you really pay him that kind of money?
Why did we do the
without
guaranteed
body of work?
part? The guaranteed part, all of it.
So to your point, Sip,
They went 11-2. They got whipped
Yeah,
up
they've
in
got-
that.
They have something
swept
to
up
build
in
on.
11.
So 1 out of 3, they kind of got their money's worth.
Got swept up in that.
In
We
which
can't
they
lose this guy. We can't lose him.
exactly. I think it's just Michigan State hasn't had that type of excitement in a long time.
Think about it. They locked in Mel when Harbaugh was vulnerable.
Yeah, that's
And
a good point.
they probably looked at it like, okay, this is our chance. This is our chance. Michigan's vulnerable. Then all of a sudden, Michigan
Figured
wasn't
it out.
vulnerable.
They figured it out.
Yeah.
Got to the
Yeah.
playoff, won the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Who were the adults in that room? I wonder when that was said. Yeah, this is a good idea for that amount of money.
Again, swept up by 11 wins.
Yeah.
Michigan vulnerable. We gotta compete with Ohio State year in and year out.
Another interesting thing was a lot of people from K-State there.
Okay.
Because in fact, the gal that brought me is from she is from K-State. And she was the director of the association that brought me in. The buzz there right now in Manhattan, they said, is unreal.
Well, think about, I mean, they just lost to Tulane the previous week. So, okay.
Ugly.
Kleiman calls out Martinez, say, we need more from our quarterback. And guess what he delivers? 4 rushing touchdowns and a passing touchdown.
155 yards rushing, 234 passing.
Yep.
The longest. Now, I'm going to tell you what thing I thought was, and we talked about this yesterday, 2 days ago, actually. No, it was yesterday. I was happy for Adrian because I hadn't talked to you guys since that game. And I want to get you guys' input. To me, Adrian, and Sip, you interviewed him countless times. In fact, your interview with his dad, his dad as well. And you had a great description, analogy, how that quote is both synonymous with both coach and a quarterback.
It's not for everybody.
Adrian was at this microphone every time after a game.
He was. He didn't dodge
and
it.
he did it like a gentleman.
Yes,
he did it like a gentleman.
Absolutely.
So I was really upset with the Nebraska fans. I mean, why? If you don't like your current job, no one bashes you for leaving. And granted, it is a job at time. Now, granted, it's school, but at the same time, he has more pressure at his job than you do at his playing college football than you ever will at your job.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And
he's the face of the program.
He's the face of the program, one of the most recognizable persons in the state, besides probably the governor and the head coach, at 20 years old. There's a lot of 60-year-olds who couldn't handle that. And they've been at their job for 40 years. I was proud of the way that Adrian always handled his business. And when people say, well, he shouldn't have left here. You know what? My thing is this. If he felt better someplace else, that's that man's business. Because we could say the same about the guys who transferred here then. You can't just take it one way. So, Grant, what I would like to see him here, but you know what? I think it was a good fresh start for Adrian.
Oh, that's what he said.
It was a great fresh start for him.
We all
New challenge,
new challenge,
new scenery,
new
offense.
Absolutely.
And I think for him, it's big that he had this game because, again, his first 3 games were not very impressive.
No.
Now he's had the breakout game.
Yep.
He knows he can still do it.
Right.
Have a big game. And now you got conference play the rest of the season. Let's go tear it up if I'm Adrian.
Think about Adrian right now. He won a close game. Kansas State's kind of playing. He's never played in a bowl game. He's never played in a bowl game. Kansas State's going to be in a bowl game.
Think about what you just said, Sip. Did you ever think that you would say that in all your years of covering Nebraska football, a player has never played in a bowl game?
I've thought about it recently, but no, it's strange.
Think about this. There were guys who graduated last year that never had a winning season.
Oh.
Never went to a bowl game. I knew when I was at Nebraska during those days, every Christmas I was going to be gone somewhere. I never spent the Christmas at home in college.
Right.
That's the part for Adrian. I'm glad he's getting a chance to potentially do that. Obviously, there's a lot of football to be played yet, but yet there's at least that chance of that.
Good chance.
And he's in a very steady, stable environment right now. I don't blame the kid. And keyword, kid.
Yeah.
Keyword. I'm glad for the kid, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad for him, man.
Yeah, he looked happy. I mean, he played. You could see he was playing free and with joy. I mean, he had that late run.
He was smiling
in the
as he was
fourth quarter
running.
as he was running.
That's like a little kid running outside for recess. He was just smiling.
He was smiling that long run.
Smiling that run. I mean, he knew what was going on. He was 3rd and 16. He broke loose, and he knew they're going to win the game.
Yep.
He knew the gravity.
And they're in
of that
Oklahoma.
moment. In OU.
Yeah, they're in Memorial Stadium.
Yes.
In Oklahoma. The scene is incredible. It's jam-packed.
Night game, nationally watched.
Yeah. And they go in there and beat Oklahoma.
Chris Kleiman owns Oklahoma.
3-1.
3 out of the past
He
4
owns it.
years
Yeah.
he beat them. And I didn't realize that until Saturday. I was like, when the announcer said it, I was like, whoa, I'm looking it up on my phone. I'm like,
how about
yep, he's beat him 3 out of 4 years.
How about that?
I didn't realize his background and success he had too with North Dakota
Oh,
State.
God, he's a winner, man. Chris, that's why I love Chris Kleiman. I love that
He
too.
is a gamer.
He doesn't come up here. He comes up a little
brought his
bit.
name up a lot.
But there's a part of Kleiman that, and we were talking about this with Bo and Frost. Kleiman doesn't like to do a lot of extra stuff. Doesn't like to do a lot of media, a lot of outside appearances. I don't think you could do it. I don't think he could work here.
Not here. Not here. You got to be
There's too much of demand.
You got to kiss baby, shake hands, and be. And you know what? Here's my thing. When you guys had a great segment, by the way. I was driving and listening to it.
Well, thank you, Aaron.
Here's the thing, guys. It's not like you get the job and all of a sudden, surprise.
Yeah.
You know that coming in.
Yeah.
This is a fishbowl. Think about this, guys.
Scott knew it.
Scott
He
knew.
was wary of it. To be fair, Aaron. To be fair, Scott was wary of it.
Mm-hmm.
He was. It was. Somebody the other day portrayed it as cut and dried that Scott was going to take this job when he was at Central Florida. I never believed that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a very hard decision for him because of he knew
What was at stake?
what you're just getting into here.
You lose a lot of liberties when you're the head coach of Nebraska, in particular Nebraska. Why is, in my opinion, is Nebraska different than some of the other Big Ten schools? And correct me if I'm wrong here. Besides no. I think we're different than almost every Big Ten school because this is the reason why. We're the only Big Ten school, correct me if I'm wrong, that is only one D1 school in the state.
Yeah, it's the only one.
Am I right on that?
For football, yeah.
We are the there's no diversions. There's no distractions.
No.
Nebraska football is your only D1 school in the state. There's no pro sports.
Nope.
None. We got 1.7 million in the whole state. All the eyes from Scottsbluff to right here to Lincoln are on Memorial Stadium Drive. Other Big Ten schools, and I was thinking about this on the airplane last night.
What's Wisconsin have? Because Marquette's
They got the Green Bay Packers.
That's NFL, yeah, sure.
They got
The Bucks.
Milwaukee Bucks.
The Brewers.
They got the Brewers. You know, they got a lot of other distractions in their state. And think about this. They got one of the greatest more story franchise in pro football in the Packers.
Yep.
Well, Wisconsin's
Right
not
down the
doing
road.
well. Wisconsin's not doing well. Focus on the Packers.
Right down the
There is
road.
no other focus here. We're not going to go focus on the Salt Dogs. And there's no disrespect.
No disrespect
but I'm
to
simply
dogs.
no, we love our dogs. But I'm simply saying there is no major sport or the D1 school here. So therefore, all the eyes are on you. So when I hear people say, well, the light's too bright, don't take the job. And that's one thing. If Mickey does not work out, that's one of the things I'm asking. How are you going to handle this? Because this is what it's going to be like. Brother, you're on 365 days a year. The only time you're not on is when you don't leave your house.
Here's the way you do it. You make it work for you. Don't use it as a negative.
Yes, you
use
can.
it as a positive.
Absolutely.
I mean, as long as you got to deal with it, make it a positive.
Make it to your advantage.
Right. Use it to your advantage.
You know, Sip, I was talking to folks yesterday about this in St. Louis too, when they were saying, well, when our team's not doing well, we just focus on something else. Or we just go I was like, you know what? We don't have that luxury at Nebraska. And I'm going to tell you this. The problem with an athletic department is not when fans are aching and moaning online.
No.
The problem with the athletic department of any organization when no one's aching and moaning. Because when apathy kicks in, your program's in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
When people say, oh, it doesn't matter anymore, because you know what it doesn't matter anymore means? That means that sellout streak we're talking about, that'll come to an end very quickly.
Yeah.
Because instead of going to a game, they'll spend those dollars someplace else. They'll go mow the lawn. They'll go camping. They'll go find something else to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because believe me, and we saw it during the Callahan era. We saw it during the Callahan era. And Sip, you covered it.
Mm-hmm.
Fans really just didn't care as much anymore.
Mm.
You saw bits of it during the Riley era. And I tell you what, that's the biggest problem. You don't worry. And when people online, now some people go overboard. That's true. Online. I mean, they just go crazy.
Naturally.
But when no one's saying anything,
that's trouble.
That's when you better worry.
Yeah. And we're not there yet. We're not there.
We're not. So when if a new coach comes in, Mickey understands that. If he doesn't, he's going to understand it now, which I think he does. He's astute to the Nebraska culture in this machine, because this machine needs to be fed a lot. The Big Red is a monster. It takes a lot of food to feed it. So, like I said, I just think about Nebraska. We're very unique. We're the only school in the Big Ten that doesn't have another D1 school or pro team. So therefore, the eyes are going to be a lot more scrutinized.
No doubt. No doubt.
All right.
Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah. All right. The drive with Raph. No Raph today?
No.
Okay.
No.
The drive with AD and Nick and Jay.
Jay Foreman will be
is next.
Yep.
For Steve Sipple, I'm Jake
Thank you,
Sorensen.
Aaron.
See you.
Awesome, guys. Thank you.
They might win, they might lose. But either way, you have something to say about it. Don't miss the Husker After Party postgame show.